Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Konoha. I have all-knowing and all-powerful shop at the Naruto world. Chapter 81. This is the PY business, said the white Zetsu after turning the book to one of the pages. After the white Zetsu finished reading the contents of the book, they all showed incredible expressions. Is this true or false? With pictures and truth, it must be true. Could it be that this is the kind of business that Master A. Fei is talking about? No wonder it spent 50 million to transform its body. It turns out that pooping is fake, and doing business is real. The white Zetsu felt terrified when they thought about it, and subconsciously covered their buttocks. Or, let's go back and sell newspapers honestly. I think it's feasible. I agree too. For a while, the white Zetsu who stayed outside the hotel looked at each other and ran away. Spread it, Master A. Fei, the former senior executive of the company, has resigned to do PY business. At this time, A. Fei didn't know that because of this misunderstanding, all the younger brothers he had fooled with great difficulty ran away. In the hotel, A. Fei sat back on the sofa. He was terrified when he saw the blue pill on the table. It's really scary. He suddenly remembered that Fatty had also taken the medicine. Fuck, that guy can't die outside, right? The boss actually fooled me with fake medicine. Just when Ah Fei was about to take the medicine to trouble Yun Xiao, Fatty walked in with a red face. Haha, Master Ah Fei's medicine is really good. Fatty was so excited when he recalled the scene of the opponent howling when he beat him just now. With this pill, who dares to say that he has no strength? Ah Fei was confused. This fat man actually praised the good effect of the medicine. Yun Xiao didn't sell fake medicine. After a moment of silence, A. Fei said, "What do you think of the effect of this medicine?" "It's really great," Fatty said. "This medicine makes me feel like I was young." After hearing what Fatty said, A. Fei was sure that the medicine Yun Xiao sold to him was not a fake one. As for why he had such a big reaction after taking it, he didn't know. Maybe it was because A. Fei was not a human. "Master A. Fei, I want this medicine again. How much is a bottle?" Fatty said excitedly. This magical little blue pill made him see a business opportunity in it, and he had to order a large number of them. Fatty's words pulled A. Fei back to his thoughts, and he rubbed his hands excitedly. "Hey, one bottle costs 130,000 taels, I wonder how many bottles do you want, boss?" Hearing this, Fatty's eyes widened and exclaimed, 130,000 taels a bottle. So expensive. He knew that this medicine was definitely not cheap, but he didn't expect it to be so expensive. You know, there are only 3 pills in a bottle, and they can only be used 3 times. This is really a lot of money. Ah Fei frowned slightly, picked up a cigarette from the table and put it in his mouth. "Boss, 130,000 taels is really not expensive. You know the effect of this medicine. It has a lot of natural treasures added to it to achieve this effect." The fat man sighed and said with a bitter face, "Master Ah Fei, the effect of the medicine is indeed very strong, but 130,000 taels is really too expensive to buy 3 pills. How about 90,000 taels per bottle?" A. Fei lit the cigarette and took a puff. "Boss, the cost of my medicine is really high. I have almost no profit from selling it for 90,000 taels." After listening to Ah Fei's words, the fat man was silent for a long time before he said, "Master Ah Fei, if I want to order a large amount, how much are you willing to sell per bottle?" Quote. A. Fei was immediately interested when he heard this. "Oh, how much do you plan to buy?" The fat man slowly stretched out 3 fingers, 300 bottles. Hearing this, A. Fei's hand holding the cigarette was shaking, but he still forced himself to calm down. "The cost of my medicine is very high. Since you are willing to buy a large amount, I won't cheat you, 100,000 taels per bottle." The fat man hesitated for a while. "Master A. Fei, can it really not be cheaper?" A. Fei stood up and patted the fat man on the shoulder. "This price is already very low. My cost of 1 bottle is 90,000 taels. Selling you 100,000 taels is already a big loss." "Fuck, is the cost of this medicine so high?" the fat man exclaimed. "The raw materials are all natural treasures, how can they not be expensive?" Ah Fei said. "Add to that the R&D costs, selling it to you for 100,000 taels is already very low." Hearing Ah Fei's words, the fat man nodded in agreement. The effect of this medicine is so good, the cost and R&D expenses must be very high, and selling it to him for 100,000 taels is indeed not expensive. At most, he can buy it for 100,000 taels, and sell one medicine in 2 parts. He will still make money at that time. Seeing the fat man lost in thought, Ah-Fei patted his chest and assured, "Boss, don't worry. The most important thing in doing business is to talk about conscience, and I happen to have this conscience." Hearing this, the fat man suddenly laughed. "Master Ah-Fei is right, just for your conscience, I will buy it for 100,000 taels. Haha, straightforward person." Ah-Fei laughed. It was secretly delighted in its heart. It didn't expect that it would meet a sucker in the first order. It actually bought 300 bottles and directly cleared out all the goods it had just received. This order made a net profit of 21 million taels. Ah-Fei really made a lot of money. Haha, happy cooperation. The fat man at this time also laughed from ear to ear. In his opinion, Ah-Fei, this guy can't do business at first glance. He was so stupid that he told him the cost price of the goods. The cost of one bottle is 90,000 taels. The goods he bought for 100,000 taels, it's not too much to sell for 150,000 taels, right? The two smiled at each other, thinking that they had made a lot of money. It takes time to produce 300 bottles, about 3 months, and I only have 50 bottles in stock now. Ah-Fei explained. It didn't give all the pills to Fatty right away. It learned this from Black Zetsu. It was called hunger marketing. Fatty had no objection to this and said he could fully understand it. After paying a deposit of up to 10 million, he took 50 bottles of pills and prepared to leave. Before leaving, Fatty suddenly asked, "Master Ah-Fei, what is the name of this medicine?" Ah-Fei was slightly startled when he heard this question. In fact, Yun Xiao didn't tell it the name of the medicine. However, after thinking for a while, it quickly came up with an idea and replied, "Well, this medicine is called Ah-Fei brand magic pills. How about it? Doesn't it sound amazing?" Quote. Hearing this, the fat man's mouth twitched. "Haha, it's really amazing." After saying that, the fat man turned and left. After the fat man left, Ah-Fei hurriedly left the hotel, eager to tell his brothers about this matter. But when Ah-Fei went out, he was shocked to find that the group of white Zetsu who had gathered at the door had disappeared. "Ah-Fei, why did his brothers disappear? Where are the people?" Ah-Fei frowned and whispered softly, "Did they encounter an accident?" Thinking of this, Ah-Fei did not dare to delay for a moment, and stood up and began to look for the figures of the white Zetsu in the fire country. Ah-Fei was in a panic, and kept praying that these guys would not get into trouble. You know, these white Zetsu are the employees that he had fooled with great difficulty. If they encounter an accident, where can he find such loyal subordinates? As time passed, Ah-Fei's forehead gradually oozed fine beads of sweat, but he was unaware of it, and he was still concentrating on searching every corner where the white Zetsu might hide. Finally, with Ah-Fei's unremitting efforts, he finally saw the figures of the group of white Zetsu. The white Zetsu gathered at the place where they had rested before, talking about something, but Ah-Fei didn't hear what they were talking about. "Hey, you guys, didn't I tell you to wait for me outside the hotel? Why are you here?" Ah-Fei shouted angrily. He was furious. These guys dared to leave their posts without permission during such an important working time. They simply had no sense of discipline. They were so reckless and wasted his precious time in vain. It was really unforgivable. They must be strictly disciplined, otherwise they will definitely be lawless in the future. When the white Zetsu saw Ah-Fei suddenly appear, they were frightened out of their wits. They were stunned and couldn't say a word for a long time. They looked embarrassed. After all, they had just run away, and the boss caught up with them. It was really embarrassing. "Why did you leave your post without permission? Don't you want to work with me?" Ah-Fei said angrily. However, just when Ah-Fei blurted out this sentence, the white Zetsu looked at him with complicated expressions. Lord Ah-Fei was indeed a senior executive of the company. He actually guessed it right. He is really amazing. Ah-Fei. Faced with the strange looks of many white Zetsu, Ah-Fei was completely confused and had no idea what was going on. It was confused. What kind of expression was that? I was just questioning it. Why are you looking at it like that? What do you mean? Why are you staring at me with such a weird look, fool? Ah-Fei said angrily. After a long while, someone among the white Zetsu who had been silent finally broke the silence. "Lord Ah-Fei, is the business you want to do serious?" Hearing this, Ah-Fei was stunned and shocked. What did it mean? Has his identity as a second-hand dealer been exposed? Impossible, it has never mentioned this to anyone, and it should be absolutely unknown to anyone. Afei's astonished expression was seen as a tacit agreement by many white Zetsu. The white Zetsu were terrified. Who could have thought that Afei, who always talked about leading everyone to get rich, would actually want them to make money by selling their bodies? Although it is not very serious, the profit is quite considerable, ha ha ha. Afei mistakenly thought that his secret of being a middleman had been exposed, so he had to scratch his head and explain with a forced smile. As soon as these words came out, all the white Zetsu trembled violently, and their faces showed extreme fear at the same time, as if they had seen the end of the world. Oh my God! Lord Afei not only did not feel ashamed, but he talked about it with relish, which really made the Zetsu feel creepy. You know, they are white Zetsu, not human beings. Seeing the white Zetsu's terrified expressions, Afei was confused. What happened? Why were they looking at him with fear? What do you have on your faces? Don't waste time. I have a big deal here. Come with me, Afei urged. Hearing this, the white Zetsu stood still. Seeing this, Afei was really angry. You fools, don't you want to do this anymore? Master Afei, we are the real white Zetsu, you should find someone else. That's right, Master Afei, this kind of business is not suitable for me, I think selling newspapers is good now. Master Afei, thank you for your kindness, but it's a pity that we are not worthy of it. Afei was so angry that he trembled all over, but a mocking smile appeared on his face. Okay. That's great. You must remember every word you said today. Look at your behavior. You are just a pile of mud that can never be lifted up. You are destined to stay at the bottom of society and make a living by selling those broken newspapers. Its eyes were like torches, staring fiercely at the group of white Zetsu in front of it, as if to use your eyes to deeply engrave their appearance in your mind. Seeing Afei's angry look, the white Zetsu subconsciously shrank their necks. You ungrateful people, you'd better not regret your decision. Even if one day in the future, you kneel down and beg me, I will never be soft-hearted, let alone forgive the mistakes you have made. Afei stretched out his finger and pointed directly at the white Zetsu. His voice became a little hoarse because of anger. As soon as the voice fell, Afei turned around abruptly and never looked at the white Zetsu again. Since Afei discovered this way of making money by the middleman to make a difference, it did not want to monopolize it alone. On the contrary, the first thing he considered was the partners who fought with him. These companions are doing the lowest level of work in the company, constantly being exploited, and their lives can be seen at a glance. Therefore, Afei wants to take his companions away from the unscrupulous company of Black Zetsu and invite them to follow him to work hard together. Unfortunately, what Afei never expected was that these guys who once swore to follow him changed their minds at the last minute and stabbed him in the back without mercy. This act of betrayal made Afei very disappointed. He felt extremely uncomfortable, and this pain was simply indescribable. Is this the feeling of being betrayed? Afei murmured, covering his chest. He originally wanted to make a lot of money with his companions, but unfortunately no companion was willing to follow him that day. Under the setting sun, Afei's back looked particularly lonely as he left alone. Watching Afei's back disappear from the camera, the expressions on the faces of the white Zetsu were extremely complicated. Master Afei is indeed a good leader, but it's a pity that he is going in the wrong direction and has gone astray. Let's just sell newspapers under Master Black Zetsu honestly, and don't always think about those things. Alas, everyone has their own ambitions. I hope Master Afei can sell a lot. Yun Xiao's shop at the border of the Land of Fire. Naruto is so good. Yun Xiao said excitedly while sitting in front of the computer. It's a pity that Obito and Nagato are unwilling to sell their eyes to me, otherwise I can experience what it feels like. Yun Xiao sighed. Welcome. Just then, the sensor doorbell at the door rang. Yun Xiao knew that a customer had come, so he stood up and walked over. When he saw the person clearly, he was a little surprised. Boss Afei, why are you back again? Yun Xiao asked curiously. After all, Afei had just left for half a day, how could he come back so soon? Afei smiled and said, Boss, your goods are so good that they sold out quickly. Give me another 300 bottles. Hearing this, Yun Xiao was stunned. He didn't expect Afei to sell out the blue pills in such a short time. It seems that this thing has a huge market in the ninja world. Haha, please take a seat, Boss Afei, I'll go get the goods for you now. Yun Xiao hurriedly pulled Afei to sit down, poured him a cup of tea, and then went to the counter to get the blue pill. Afei took out a cigarette, lit it, and sat in his seat smoking silently. Boss Afei, your goods are ready, Yun Xiao said happily. When he saw Afei's worried look at this time, he was stunned. What happened to Afei? Did he get cheated in business? Yun Xiao sat opposite Afei and asked nervously, Afei, what happened to you? Afei is Yun Xiao's big customer, and he must not get into trouble. Otherwise, who will come to him to spend money? Boss, I was betrayed, Afei said in a hoarse voice. Hearing this, Yun Xiao's expression froze. Could it be that Afei's men ran away with the money? Just like when Afei ran away with Black Zetsu's money. Thinking of this, Yun Xiao's mouth twitched. It seems that Afei has suffered retribution. Can you tell me what happened in detail? Yun Xiao asked curiously. Afei suddenly sighed, extinguished the cigarette in his hand, and explained, this is what happened. After hearing Afei's explanation, Yun Xiao didn't know what to say for a while. After a long time, it turned out that Afei wanted to turn the employees of Black Zetsu against him, but failed. However, what Yun Xiao didn't know was that Afei had actually succeeded in turning the employees against him, but because of some misunderstandings, the turning failed in the end. Yun Xiao patted Afei on the shoulder and comforted him, I thought it was a big deal. If they don't want to follow you, then don't follow them. Afei cried with his head in his hands, but I'm obviously thinking about them, why don't they want to believe me? What's the big deal? Before the Uchiha clan leader, Uchiha Madara, left Konoha, no Uchiha clan member was willing to leave with him. Yun Xiao said. Hearing this, Afei raised his head and murmured, yes, even a person like Madara-sama will be betrayed, let alone me. Seeing Afei regain his spirits, Yun Xiao smiled and said, work hard, as long as you achieve a high level, naturally someone will come to you. I understand, boss, I will work hard to become the largest company in the ninja world. Afei said excitedly. Yun Xiao nodded, since you are the chairman now, you should pay attention to your image. How can you be naked all day long? Afei subconsciously looked at his body and scratched his head awkwardly, I know, boss, I will order it later. How can the clothes outside be as good as mine? Yun Xiao took out a black suit and introduced it, you are the president now. As the saying goes, clothes make the man, and a suitable suit can reflect your status. Afei nodded in agreement. He knew that the clothes of those rich people were very gorgeous, and people could tell at a glance that he was rich. Come on, president, try it on. Yun Xiao quickly handed the clothes to Afei and helped him put it on. President, this suit really suits you. It gives people a different feeling when you put it on. Yun Xiao praised. Really? Afei said in surprise. Of course, when you wear this suit, others will know that you are the boss of a big company, worth billions. Ha ha ha, boss, how much is this suit? I'll buy it. Afei was flattered by Yun Xiao and said with a smile. This suit is not 998, not 888, only 88. Yun Xiao said excitedly. You can't lose money if you buy it for 88, you can't be fooled if you buy it for 88, and you can buy a high-end suit for 88. 88, too? Afei asked in confusion. Yun Xiao rolled his eyes and said with a smile, this is Italian high-end custom-made, the price is 880,000 taels. Quote. Fuck, so expensive. Afei exclaimed. 880,000 taels can be used to buy 30 bottles of blue pills. Isn't it crazy to use it to buy a suit? What's expensive? This is made of the best materials. I bet that there is no such high-quality suit in the entire ninja world. 880,000 is really not expensive. Yun Xiao continued, and it is a symbol of status. When you wear this suit and go to cooperate with others, others will definitely trust you more after seeing the price of this suit. Afei was obviously tempted by Yun Xiao's trick, but he was a little hesitant, but boss, even if I buy it, they don't know the price of this suit. That's easy. Yun Xiao took out a label and pinned it on the chest of the suit, took out a pen and wrote the price on the label, isn't this solved? Afei looked at the label on his chest and his eyes lit up, boss, you are really too smart. I want this suit. Quote. That's right, that's right. Happy cooperation with President A. Fei. Yun Xiao enthusiastically shook A Fei's hand. Boss A. Fei, this is a gift from our store. Yun Xiao took out a beautiful gift box and handed it to A Fei. A Fei took the gift box with surprise. Thank you, boss, I'll leave first. With that, A Fei left the store. Yun Xiao looked at A Fei's back and said with emotion, as expected of a big customer of our store, he is generous. At the same time, somewhere in the ninja world, Lord Black Zetsu, it's bad, Lord A. Fei ran away. A white Zetsu suddenly broke into the office. Black Zetsu asked nervously, did it kidnap my employees? Black Zetsu has started to have a headache. He knows A Fei's temper very well. If A Fei runs away, he will definitely incite other white Zetsu to do the same. Just when Black Zetsu was about to bleed heavily, White Zetsu said, Lord A. Fei left alone, and there was no white Zetsu with him. Quote. Hearing this, Black Zetsu was stunned at first, then laughed up to the sky, ha ha ha, God has eyes. Pass the order down, from now on, A Fei will be completely banned. If other companies dare to accept A Fei, they are against us. Black Zetsu sneered, A Fei, I want you to know what will happen if you betray me. After hearing what Black Zetsu said, White Zetsu, who was in charge of delivering the message, was stunned for a moment. Master Black Zetsu, are you sure you want to do this? What, do you think there is something wrong with my decision? Black Zetsu narrowed his eyes slightly and asked in a cold tone. Feeling the oppressive look of Black Zetsu, White Zetsu's forehead was covered with cold sweat and his body trembled involuntarily. It stammered and replied, Master Black Zetsu, I dare not. The white Zetsu in front of him was one of the batch that had undergone body transformation at Yunxiao. Because it knew that everything it had obtained was given to it by A Fei, it was very loyal to A Fei. But after learning of Black Zetsu's decision, it was extremely shocked and could not help asking back. Unexpectedly, its words caused dissatisfaction from Master Black Zetsu. Humph, since you have no opinion, why don't you quickly spread this news? Black Zetsu scolded sharply. Yes, I will do it immediately. Baiju didn't dare to delay any longer and turned around and ran out of the office. At this moment, Baiju was very confused. He could never have thought that the boss he had been following would run away like this. So what should they do next? He kept complaining about A Fei in his heart. Why didn't he tell them when he left? If he told them, they would definitely follow A Fei without hesitation. Baiju walked out of the office door with a heavy heart. Before he could take a breath, he was surrounded by more than a dozen white Jew with the same anxious look. 016, tell me quickly, what is the situation now? What is the punishment of Lord Black Jew for Lord A Fei? One of the white Jew asked impatiently. Another white Zetsu said confidently, I think Master A Fei is just joking with Master Black Zetsu. Don't worry, maybe Master A Fei will be back soon. Several other white Zetsu echoed. Yes, Master A Fei can't do anything. After leaving the company, I'm afraid even eating will be a problem. It will probably come back in a few days and beg Master Black Zetsu for forgiveness. Everyone burst into laughter after hearing this, as if they had foreseen the scene where Master A Fei would soon return to the company. These are all transformed white Zetsu, and they are all very loyal to A Fei. However, at this moment, 016 suddenly sighed, everyone, I'm afraid that Master A Fei will never come back this time. Hearing this, many white Zetsu were stunned, and one of them shouted, 016, don't joke with us anymore, this joke is not funny at all. That's right, you should tell us the punishment of Master A Fei as soon as possible. When they first heard 16's words, all the white Zetsu thought that 016 was joking with them, but when they saw 16's solemn expression, their hearts suddenly clicked, and an ominous premonition instantly surged into their hearts. They suddenly realized that 016 didn't seem to be joking, and Master A Fei might really not come back. 016, quickly repeat what happened in the office in detail. A white Zetsu suddenly said. 016 sighed helplessly and said slowly, Master A Fei's escape this time really angered Master Black Zetsu. Master Black Zetsu wants to ban Master A Fei in the ninja world. What? How can this be possible? Upon hearing this, all the white Zetsu were shocked and cried out. If Master A Fei is banned, then his life will be over. Thinking of this, the faces of the white Zetsu were full of anxiety, and everyone began to worry about Afei's future life. They seemed to have witnessed the tragic scene of Afei at that time, wandering on the streets, lonely and helpless, and finally going to the end of his life due to hunger. For a moment, the white Zetsu closed their mouths at the same time, and no one made a sound. After an unknown amount of time, a white Zetsu finally broke the silence and asked softly, "Since Lord Afei is now banned, what should we do?" At this moment, 016 suddenly took off the department manager badge on his chest and threw it hard on the ground, cursing and shouting, "Since Lord Afei has been fired, there is no point for me to stay here. I quit." Seeing 16's actions, the white Zetsu's eyes lit up, and they all agreed with 16's approach. That's right, if Lord Afei is really banned by the company, then what's the point of us staying in this broken company? That's right, if we did though, could we choose to join this company because of Lord Afei? Now that Lord Afei is gone, let's withdraw quickly. Quote. Many white Zetsu gathered together and whispered, nodding their heads to support 16's decision. Looking at the companions who responded positively, 016 nodded with satisfaction. If the company loses the leadership of Lord Afei, it will have no value and meaning. Black Zetsu, he can't lead us to glory. I'm going to go find Lord Afei now. Then create a company with Lord Afei. Before he finished speaking, 016 turned around and left without hesitation. I've had enough. Another white Zetsu shouted, and angrily pulled off the work card hanging on his chest and threw it to the ground. Me too. Several other white Zetsu echoed in unison, following suit and throwing their work badges aside casually. Then, they followed closely behind 016 and stepped out of the company's door together. Only a group of white Zetsu employees who were at a loss and confused were left in the distance. Oh my god, what happened? Why did all the supervisors quit? Maybe it's because they can't stand the oppression of black Zetsu. You know, these white Zetsu who are running away now are all supervisors of various departments of the company. Their departure will definitely cause a lot of trouble to the normal operation of the company. At this time, Black Zetsu, who was sitting in the office, had no idea what was happening outside. He was still happily flipping through the account book in his hand. At the company entrance, Uchiha Obito saw a large group of white Zetsu running out of the company and asked curiously, "What are you going to do?" The white Zetsu walked straight past him and no one paid any attention to him. Uchiha Obito. Looking at the backs of the white Zetsu leaving, Obito cursed, "Fuck, what are these guys so proud of? How dare they ignore me?" Over the years, Obito has never suffered such anger, and now he is being shit on by a group of white Zetsu, which he can't stand. He just wanted to teach these white Zetsu a lesson, but thinking of the purpose of this visit, he finally gave up the idea of teaching them a lesson. After all, he is still busy making money and has no energy to waste time on such a place. The purpose of his visit to Black Zetsu this time is to let him start working with him. Because the two of them have not been to work for several days. 5 days ago, after the two of them finished a business, Black Zetsu suddenly asked for a few days off because he wanted to open a company in the ninja world. In this regard, Obito was very dissatisfied with Black Zetsu's behavior of wasting time, but he didn't say anything on the surface. Obito felt that Black Zetsu was having unrealistic fantasies again. He thought that Black Zetsu's company couldn't be run at all. Even if it was run, it wouldn't make money. Even if it made money, it wouldn't be much. Starting a company not only wastes time and energy, but also wastes a lot of money and manpower to build a company, and it may not make money. Obito didn't agree with Black Zetsu's decision. In his opinion, Black Zetsu might as well be a thief in the ninja world with him. But Black Zetsu didn't listen to his advice at all and insisted on starting a company, so Obito had no choice but to agree. Thoughts returned to the present. Obito looked at the company's magnificent building and was a little stunned. He said in shock, "Fuck, how much money does it cost to build a company like this?" Black Zetsu is really willing to spend money. He will be honest when he goes bankrupt. As he said that, Obito walked into the company. "Hello, welcome to Ninja World All-Knowing Service Company, Limited, do you have any needs?" A white Zetsu saw Obito coming in and hurriedly said enthusiastically, "Ninja World All-Knowing Service Company, Limited. The name sounds very high-end, but I wonder if it can make money." Obito muttered. He felt that Black Zetsu's company would not last long, and even if it made money now, it would only be a small profit, not much at all. Excuse me, do you have any needs? White Zetsu asked again. I'm looking for Black Zetsu. Obito said. Hello, do you have an appointment? White Zetsu asked. Hearing this, Obito was stunned. Black Zetsu actually made an appointment. If you don't know, you would think his company is very big. If there is no appointment, tell me where he is and I will go by myself. I'm sorry, you can't see the chairman without an appointment. The veins on Obito's forehead popped up, and he suddenly opened his Sharingan and said coldly, I'll ask you again, where is Black Zetsu? Seeing Obito's Sharingan, White Zetsu finally reacted, so you are Lord Obito. The chairman is upstairs, I'll take you there now. With that, White Zetsu led Obito upstairs happily. Obito snorted coldly and followed him. Outside Black Zetsu's office. Lord Obito, Lord Black Zetsu is inside, I'll leave first. Obito ignored White Zetsu, but opened the door of the office and walked in. The door of the office was suddenly opened, Black Zetsu frowned, and scolded, didn't I tell you? Knock before coming in. Hey, Black Zetsu, I haven't seen him for a few days, and he's so arrogant. Obito said. Hearing this, Black Zetsu raised his head and smiled, it's Obito-kun, please take a seat. Obito was not polite and sat directly opposite Black Zetsu, silently looking at the decoration in the office. Obito was a little shocked. This decoration was not cheap at first glance. It seemed that Black Zetsu really made money during this period. Obito-kun, what do you want to see me this time? Black Zetsu said, picking up a cigar and holding it in his mouth. Obito frowned. He always felt that Black Zetsu seemed to have changed, becoming a little arrogant. You have been resting for 5 days, why don't you start working? Obito said coldly. Black Zetsu slowly lit up his cigar and said with a smile, oh, you're talking about this, I've quit now. Obito. He scratched his ears subconsciously and said in disbelief, what did you just say? You quit. Black Zetsu took a puff of his cigar, the market is not good now, I can't steal much money at all, it's better to quit. How can you make money if you quit? Do you want to rely on your broken company to make money? Obito said disdainfully. Faced with Obito's ridicule, Black Zetsu threw the account book on the table in front of Obito and sneered, haha, sorry, my company made 100 million in 3 days. Obito's pupils shrank sharply when he heard this. He quickly picked up the account book and started to read it. When he saw the contents clearly, he suddenly stood up and said, impossible, you definitely made false accounts. Black Zetsu was very satisfied with Obito's reaction. He said happily, whether it is a false account or not, you must know it in your heart. I have calculated it. My company's annual turnover can reach 8 billion. Who would be willing to steal with you if they can make so much money? Obito had a complicated expression. He really didn't expect that Black Zetsu's company could achieve this. It was just a small fight at first. Who would have thought that it could really make a lot of money? He was extremely depressed. Seeing Black Zetsu succeed, it felt worse than killing him. Obito-kun, being a thief is not as fast as starting a company. When you sneered at me, didn't you think that this day would come? Black Zetsu sneered. Obito. He did regret it a little. If he had known earlier, he would have started a company with Black Zetsu. It's a pity that it's useless to say anything now. Haha, we worked hard for several days, but we didn't earn as much as I did yesterday. Black Zetsu said, remember that time when we sneaked into the Tsuchikage's office, we were discovered by Onoki and were almost blown to pieces by his dust release. Black Zetsu said so much, just to hint that Obito had no future as a thief in the ninja world, and it was better to be a chairman. Are you really going to quit? Obito gritted his teeth. Of course, being a thief is the lowest level job. If you are caught by accident, you will be beaten to death. Black Zetsu said with a smile. Obito had enough of Black Zetsu's sarcasm, since you are willing to quit, forget it, I will do it myself. With that, Obito turned and left. Haha, Obito-kun, goodbye. I hope you won't be caught and beaten to death by then. Black Zetsu said with a smile. After Obito walked to the door, he suddenly turned back to look at Black Zetsu and said, I hope you hide your money well, but don't let me find it. After saying that, Obito left. Hearing this, the smile on Black Zetsu's face froze. Konoha Village, Commercial Street. A stern-looking Uchiha boy was strolling leisurely in the commercial street. It must be said that the Uchiha clan members, regardless of gender, are generally very good-looking. Almost all the men are handsome and the women are beautiful. However, when people caught a glimpse of the eye-catching Uchiha clan emblem behind him, they couldn't help but show awe and fear on their faces, and subconsciously avoided him, fearing that they would accidentally provoke him. For this kind of reaction, like avoiding poisonous snakes and beasts, the Uchiha boy has long been accustomed to it. His eyes always look straight ahead, and he seems to have no regard for the strange eyes of the people around him. The boy walked on his own. At this moment, a chubby, mischievous kid holding a fragrant skewer ran out of a narrow alley happily. Because of the high speed, he had no time to brake and collided head-on with the Uchiha boy. There was a muffled bang sound, and the two of them collided heavily. Then, the bear child was ejected like a cannonball, and then fell on his buttocks on the ground, grinning in pain and tears in his eyes. At the same time, the skewers he held tightly in his hand also slipped out of his hand, drawing a beautiful arc in the air, and finally fell on the ground not far away. The Uchiha boy looked at the bear child who suddenly appeared, and he frowned in dissatisfaction. Children. I hate them the most. Although he said so, he still helped the bear child up from the ground, and said in a stiff tone, "Hey, kid, are you okay?" The bear child seemed to have heard nothing at all, just staring at the skewers on the ground. Tears kept rolling in his eyes. Seeing that the bear child did not respond, the Uchiha boy was a little unhappy. You know, he hates others wasting his time the most, even if it is a child. So, he spoke again. His tone became colder. Little boy, I'm asking you a question. Perhaps frightened by the boy's cold tone, the boy trembled violently, and suddenly cried aggrievedly, "Woo, big brother, you have to compensate me for the skewers." Uchiha boy. Faced with this sudden change, the Uchiha boy was speechless and froze in place. He didn't know what to say for a while. He was walking fine, and it was this kid who bumped into him, but he didn't expect him to pay for it. The originally bustling commercial street suddenly became quiet after hearing the crying of the little boy, and everyone looked over curiously. I saw a little boy with tears on his face and snot running down his nose standing there alone, crying loudly. Opposite him, there stood a Uchiha boy quietly. When everyone saw the scene clearly, they all showed disgust and aversion on their faces, and pointed their fingers at the Uchiha boy. The villagers whispered, "The Uchiha people are really too much. They didn't even let such a young child go, they are simply crazy." That's right, they have always been known for their evil, so it's not surprising that they do such a thing. Yes, Lord Hokage is right, some members of big families always rely on their power to oppress the weak. The villagers' discussion was not loud, but the Uchiha boy, who was a ninja, could clearly hear their conversation. The Uchiha boy was immediately anxious and hurriedly explained, "You must have misunderstood, things are not what you think, I didn't bully the child." Hearing this, the villagers all showed expressions of disbelief. Someone taunted, "Who knows? You are a member of the Uchiha clan, who dares to offend you?" Although they feared the strength of the Uchiha clan, they could still say a few sarcastic words. Hearing the sarcasm of the crowd, the Uchiha boy anxiously explained, I didn't." He squatted down and said to the naughty kid, "Little boy, tell everyone what happened just now, and I will treat you to barbecue." The naughty kid wiped away his tears and said with a smile, "Big brother, are you telling the truth?" The Uchiha boy was relieved and said with a smile, "Of course it's true, tell them quickly." As long as the kid explained what happened just now, he would not be misunderstood by them. Seeing this, the villagers all looked at the naughty kid, their eyes full of concern and curiosity, as if they all wanted to know the truth from the kid. "Little boy, tell the truth, don't be afraid, with uncles and aunts here, no one dares to do anything to you." "Yes, little friend, tell us what happened just now, and we will take care of it for you." Quote. The naughty child bowed to the villagers quickly, "Thank you uncles and aunts." As he said that, the naughty child silently stepped back a few steps, away from the Uchiha boy. The Uchiha boy saw this and immediately had a bad feeling in his heart. The naughty child pointed at the Uchiha boy with a wronged look on his face. "Uncles and aunts, it was this big brother who wanted to snatch the skewers from my hand just now, and I didn't give it to him. He kicked me down, and then the skewers fell to the ground, woo woo woo. The naughty child cried and pointed at the skewers on the ground. The villagers looked in the direction of the naughty child's finger and saw the skewers on the ground. The skewers at this time were already covered with dust. The Uchiha people are really too hateful. They even want to snatch children's things. Is this the Uchiha of Konoha? I really learned something today. Quote. Faced with the accusations of the crowd, the Uchiha boy was confused. He looked at the bear child in front of him in disbelief. What nonsense are you talking about? The bear child subconsciously shrank his neck. Big brother, I was wrong, don't poke my butt with a barbecue skewer. Hearing the words of the bear child, a villager in the crowd immediately stood up and protected the bear child behind him. Don't be afraid, little friend, we will protect you. I don't believe that he, Uchiha, dares to commit crimes in the street. Yeah, thank you uncles and aunts. The bear child said gratefully. After speaking, he looked at the Uchiha boy with a provocative face. After seeing the provocative eyes of the bear child, the boy was very angry in his heart. He only realized now that he was being calculated. The Uchiha boy really couldn't stand the slander of the crowd, and hurriedly covered his ears and ran away. As expected of the Uchiha who was born evil, he wanted to run away after doing bad things. Bah, the Uchiha clan is really disgusting. Quote, the villagers were venting their dissatisfaction with the Uchiha. But no one noticed that the bear child quietly left and returned to the alley where he appeared at the beginning. At this time, two people wearing animal masks stood in the alley. The bear child respectfully said, My two adults, I have successfully completed the tasks you asked me to do. The two nodded with satisfaction. This is your reward. Then, one of them reached into his arms, took out a scroll, and threw it casually at the bear child. The bear child hurriedly stretched out his hands to catch the scroll and thanked, Thank you, my two adults, with this money, my father's illness can finally be cured. After the bear child finished speaking, he took the scroll and left happily. But what he didn't know was that a person behind him silently took out a kunai from the ninja tool bag, and then threw it at the bear child, and the bear child instantly fell to the ground and lost his life. Put away his body, maybe you can keep it to blame the Uchiha. Hokage's office. Danzo, will this really work? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked curiously. Shimura Danzo tapped his desk with his fingers and said confidently, Those villagers have no judgment at all. As long as I guide them a little, they will point their spearheads at the Uchiha clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen remained silent. He didn't agree with Danzo's approach from the bottom of his heart, but who made Danzo the Hokage now? Even if he didn't agree, there was nothing he could do. Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of his pipe. So what are you going to do next? Originally, the Uchiha clan was ostracized in Konoha. I believe that after this incident, the Uchiha clan's reputation will really be ruined. By then, I can legitimately send troops to destroy the Uchiha clan. Shimura Danzo explained. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen was shocked. He didn't expect Shimura Danzo to be so thoughtful that he even thought of a reason to start the fight. He sighed silently. It seemed that a war between the village and Uchiha was inevitable. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to see this happen, he couldn't change anything. Knock knock knock. Just then, the door of the office was knocked. Come in. As soon as Shimura Danzo finished speaking, more than a dozen members of the Anbuin route came in. These were the people that Danzo secretly arranged to ruin the reputation of Uchiha. Now that they are back, it means that they have completed the task assigned by Danzo. They saluted Shimura Danzo respectfully. Hokage-sama, the task you assigned has been completed. Shimura Danzo nodded with satisfaction. Not bad, you did a good job. Now you can go down and rest. Shimura Danzo waved his hand, indicating that they could leave. Seeing this, the group of people hurriedly left the Hokage's office. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the backs of the Anbu leaving, with a face full of nostalgia. He couldn't help but recall the time when he was still the Hokage in power, but it was a pity that it was gone forever. Hee, facing such false accusations, those stupid Uchiha will definitely choose to rebel. As long as I get the evidence of their rebellion, I will suddenly send troops and catch them off guard. By then, Konoha village will no longer have the Uchiha surname. Shimura Danzo said coldly. Shimura Danzo has long coveted the Uchiha clan's Sharingan. Now taking this opportunity to exterminate the Uchiha clan, he can naturally collect the Sharingan. Sarutobi Hiruzen swallowed his saliva. His old friend has become more and more courageous since he became Hokage. Now he is forcing the Uchiha clan to rebel. Is he really not afraid of going too far and being torn to pieces by the angry Uchiha clan? Danzo, you. He was about to warn him when he was interrupted by the angry Shimura Danzo. What Danzo? I've told you so many times that you should call your position when you are working. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned. He looked at Shimura Danzo in disbelief, as if he didn't expect his old friend to say this. It took a long while for Sarutobi Hiruzen to react. He gritted his teeth and said, Hokage. Sir. Enough, you don't have to persuade me anymore. I won't listen to you even if you say it. After all, I am the Hokage now. Shimura Danzo snorted. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hearing Shimura Danzo's words, Sarutobi Hiruzen was almost angry to death. Danzo has been getting more and more annoying since he became the Hokage. He always brags about being the Hokage in front of him and talks about the Hokage every 3 sentences. Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered, "What's there to pretend about? I was the Hokage for more than 30 years before. Hiruzen, you have to remember that I am the Hokage now." Shimura Danzo said, "Come here, throw out this former Hokage who stepped down because of corruption." As soon as the voice fell, 2 roots came in. They carried Sarutobi Hiruzen without saying anything and left the Hokage's office. "What are you doing? How dare you? Let go, I can walk by myself." Shimura Danzo, you will regret it. Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice became smaller and smaller until it could no longer be heard. Shimura Danzo sneered, "Hiruzen, just watch me destroy the Uchiha clan with my own hands." Uchiha clan land. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the information in his hand with a gloomy face, and then smashed the table in front of him with an angry palm. Danzo old dog is really bullying. Do you really think that I, Uchiha, am easy to bully? Pass the order down, all the elite Jonin in the clan go to Nanga Shrine for a meeting. Uchiha Fugaku shouted to the guards at the door. The guards hurriedly took the order. Uchiha Fugaku did not stop and left the room directly. After Uchiha Fugaku left, Uchiha Itachi walked into the room and curiously picked up the scattered intelligence on the ground. When he saw the content of a piece of intelligence clearly, he was stunned. It was written on the intelligence. An Uchiha clan member snatched the skewers from a 6-year-old child on the street and kicked the child down. He quickly turned to the intelligence below. The elite ninja of the Uchiha clan was so beastly that he touched an 80-year-old woman. Uchiha Itachi. He continued to look through. The son of the second elder of the Uchiha clan beat someone to death on the street, and claimed that his father was the second elder of the Uchiha clan, and joining the security force was like going home. When he saw the last piece of intelligence, he was so angry that veins popped on his forehead. The second son of the Uchiha clan leader, Uchiha Sasuke, has been sexually harassing a medical ninja for a long time. Uchiha Itachi almost fainted from anger. You know, Sasuke is only 4 years old now, just a little kid who follows him around and calls him brother all day long. How could he sexually harass others? Rumors, this is absolutely a rumor. Uchiha Itachi gritted his teeth and said, I will definitely find out who is behind this. After hearing the news that Sasuke was framed, Uchiha Itachi was instantly filled with uncontrollable anger. His always calm face was distorted by anger at this moment. Under this extreme anger, Uchiha Itachi subconsciously opened his Sharingan. However, at this time, Uchiha Itachi was completely unaware that his eyes were undergoing amazing changes. The 3 Magatama that were originally stationary seemed to be driven by some mysterious power and began to rotate rapidly. As the speed became faster and faster, the 3 Magatama gradually merged together and finally formed the shape of a shuriken. But this state did not last too long. As if it was just a matter of a moment, the shuriken-shaped pattern quickly dissipated and turned back to the original 3 Magatama. Dare to slander Sasuke, no matter who you are, I will never let you go. Uchiha Itachi said coldly. Uchiha clan Nanga Shrine. Uchiha Fugaku sat on the main seat with an angry face, his lips tightly closed, and he said nothing. The Uchiha elite Jonin who had just entered the shrine caught a glimpse of Uchiha Fugaku's angry face. They couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. What could have made this always calm clan leader so angry? However, despite their curiosity, they didn't dare to ask easily. They could only stand aside silently, waiting for the clan leader to speak. However, some clan members knew the reason. When they saw the angry clan leader, they became excited instantly. Obviously, the clan leader had made that important decision. This decision may change the fate of the Uchiha clan, and they are about to devote themselves to this magnificent change. At this time, figures kept flashing in the shrine. All of them were members of the Uchiha family. All of these people are the top strong men in the clan, and they can be said to represent the core strength of the Uchiha clan. However, when they entered the shrine, no one chose to sit down. Because there were only 6 chairs in the venue, one of which was occupied by Uchiha Fugaku, and the remaining 5 belonged to the positions of the 5 respected elders of the Uchiha clan. Not long after, 5 hunchbacked old men slowly walked into the Nanhi shrine. These are the elders of the Uchiha clan. Although they are old, their status and influence in the clan are still very important. Although Uchiha Fugaku is now the chief of the clan, the power held by the 5 elders should not be underestimated. Fugaku, what happened that you suddenly summoned us? The elder smiled and slowly sat down beside Uchiha Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku looked serious and said in a heavy tone, "Grand Elder, our Uchiha clan is now facing an unprecedented severe situation." Hearing this, everyone present was shocked. What kind of thing could make the clan leader look so solemn? Everyone was full of suspicion and cast their curious eyes on Uchiha Fugaku. Feeling the gazes of everyone, Uchiha Fugaku took a deep breath and said in a low voice, "The old dog Danzo is too much. He has already started to make a move on us Uchiha. In order to protect ourselves, we must launch a coup now." Hearing Uchiha Fugaku's words, everyone present looked at Uchiha Fugaku with their eyes wide open, their eyes full of astonishment and disbelief. Then, as if a huge stone was thrown into the calm lake, a huge uproar suddenly arose in the field, and the situation was in chaos. The pro-war members of the Uchiha clan were extremely excited. For a long time, they have been enduring discrimination, contempt and ruthless exclusion from the villagers, and countless anger has been accumulated in their hearts. Has the clan leader finally decided to launch a coup? Someone shouted loudly, revealing uncontrollable expectations in his voice. "Great, I have waited too long for this day." Another person echoed, his face full of eagerness. "Haha. Let's go on a killing spree today and kill the enemy without leaving a single piece of armor." Someone else laughed wildly and waved the weapon in his hand, and the 3 magatama in his eyes were slowly turning. However, just as the war faction was getting excited, the peace faction couldn't help but frown and advise with worry. "Chief, launching a coup will bring huge losses and heavy casualties to our family. Please think carefully. Indeed, the current peace situation is hard-won. We should cherish it and not easily provoke a war." "Bullshit, old dog Danzo has already started to attack us Uchiha. Are we going to sit and wait for death?" "You can't say that. Didn't Shimura Danzo attack us yet? Fuck, I'm really pissed off. You peace faction are a bunch of idiots. You bloodthirsty guys, what qualifications do you have to say about us?" "Be quiet," the elder said coldly. As soon as these words came out, the 2 factions, which were arguing fiercely and unwilling to give in to each other, instantly quieted down. The whole scene fell into a dead silence, with only the great elder's majestic eyes sweeping over everyone present. Uchiha Fugaku frowned. From the scene before him, he could clearly see that the prestige of the elders in the clan had surpassed himself as the clan leader. This situation was really worrying. At this time, the great elder turned his gaze to Uchiha Fugaku and asked in a deep voice, "Fugaku, why did you suddenly launch a coup? Don't you know the serious consequences that may come from doing so?" "Yes, if a coup is launched rashly, the family will suffer heavy losses," said the 3rd elder. The 3rd elder is right. A coup will not work in the Uchiha clan. It would be better for everyone to sit down and discuss how to resolve the conflict between the village and the clan, said the 4th elder. "Fugaku, you are still too young. You can't ruin the future of Uchiha because of a momentary impulse," the 5th elder said earnestly. After hearing the words of the elders, the pro-war faction was furious. They clenched their fists tightly. Due to excessive force, even their nails were deeply sunk into their palms, as if they wanted to vent their anger in this way. In sharp contrast, the members of the pro-peace faction looked at the pro-peace faction with mocking expressions. In fact, within the Uchiha family, the number of pro-war faction has long far exceeded that of the pro-peace faction. Because, for a long time, the village has been constantly exerting pressure and suppression on the Uchiha clan, which has long made the clan members dissatisfied, so the number of pro-war faction has increased, and eventually far exceeded that of the pro-peace faction. According to common sense, the minority should obey the majority, but what is strange is that every time in the discussion about whether to launch a rebellion and other major issues, why is it the peace faction that wins in the end? The reason for this situation lies in the elders of the Uchiha family. It turns out that there are 5 elders in the Uchiha family. However, what is shocking is that among these 5 people, 4 belong to the peace faction, and only 1 supports the views of the war faction. Such a huge disparity in proportion leads to the fact that whenever it comes to key decisions, the peace faction will always be able to gain the upper hand and win the final victory. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the elders and suddenly laughed. The elders, ha ha ha, it's really interesting. Uchiha Fugaku laughed. Several elders looked at each other, they didn't know what Uchiha Fugaku was laughing at. Not only the elders felt puzzled, but also many clan members present were confused. They all whispered to each other, and began to whisper, secretly speculating in their hearts what happened to the clan leader. Fugaku, what are you laughing at? The elder asked curiously. Uchiha Fugaku did not answer the elder's question immediately, but slowly restrained the smile on his face. I am laughing at the elders. It is really stupid that you still don't know the seriousness of the matter until now. Uchiha Fugaku sneered. These words were like a heavy bomb, and instantly exploded among the crowd. The elder's face suddenly changed, and he slammed the table in front of him and shouted angrily, "How dare you? Do you know what you are saying?" The third elder beside him was so angry that he trembled all over. He pointed at Uchiha Fugaku and scolded him harshly. Fugaku, you are really getting more and more disrespectful. Everyone present was shocked and opened their mouths. They didn't expect that the clan leader would dare to speak to the elders like this. You know, the prestige of the elders in the clan is higher than that of the clan leader. Facing the accusations of the elders, Uchiha Fugaku seemed particularly calm. He took out a stack of information slowly. This is the content of Shimura Danzo's accusation against my Uchiha, you can pass it on and take a look. Hearing this, the people present picked up the information and read it. As the pages were turned over, the expressions on their faces became more and more solemn, and there were even more storms in their hearts. In the end, they gritted their teeth and roared in anger. Slander, this is naked slander, Shimura Danzo really deserves to die. After carefully studying the information, the elders who were originally aggressive suddenly fell into a dead silence. Obviously, even they themselves had not expected that Shimura Danzo would do such a thing. After a long while, the elder said, perhaps, Shimura Danzo did not frame me Uchiha, and the content of the information is true. After hearing the elder's words, every Uchiha clan member present widened their eyes and looked at the elder with disbelief. It is hard to imagine that this sentence was said by the elder of Uchiha. If you don't know, you might think he is an undercover sent by Shimura Danzo. At this moment, the second elder, who had been silent since entering the venue, suddenly spoke. If he hadn't spoken, it would have been fine. But once he spoke, he shocked everyone. I'm so lucky. Look carefully at what's written on it with your dog eyes. The second elder angrily threw the information in his hand at the face of the first elder. The first elder took off the information on his face, which read, the son of the second elder of Uchiha beat someone to death in the street and claimed that his father was the second elder of Uchiha. Joining the security force is like going home. The first elder frowned and said coldly, second elder, your son not only committed a crime in the street, but also resisted arrest. Is this how you educate your son? I'm so lucky. The second elder spit on the face of the first elder. The Uchiha present saw the first elder being humiliated and almost couldn't help laughing. It was really satisfying. Simple foul mouth, extreme enjoyment. The second elder is the only war advocate in the elders, but it is precisely because of this reason that he has been targeted. Second elder, why don't you confess your crime quickly? The third elder said, hand over your son quickly, otherwise the reputation of Uchiha will be ruined by your son. Hey, I ruined you. You are also a mentally retarded person. The second elder spit on the face of the third elder. Ah, fool, how dare you? The third elder quickly wiped the thick phlegm on his face. Seeing that the second elder refused to repent, the first elder said coldly, "Come here, take the second elder's son to the Hokage's office and hand him over to Shimura Danzo for punishment." Hearing this, the Uchiha present looked at each other, and no one responded. Seeing this, the great elder roared, "Didn't you hear what I said? Hurry up and go. Go to hell. If you can catch my son today, I will commit suicide on the spot." The second elder cursed. Okay, remember what you said, I will personally bring your son to justice." The great elder stood up and was about to leave. Just then, an Uchiha said, "That great elder, the second elder has no son." The great elder. Only then did they realize that the second elder had no offspring at all, so where did the son come from? No wonder the second elder reacted so violently just now. Ahem, even if one piece of information is false, the other information may be true. The elder said awkwardly. "Elder, are you saying that my 4-year-old son has been sexually harassing a medical ninja for a long time?" Uchiha Fugaku said. "Elder, haha, 2 pieces of information are false, but it doesn't prove that the other information is false, right?" The elder said stubbornly. "Elder, do you mean that I suddenly became beastly and touched an 80-year-old woman in the street?" An Uchiha stood up and said. The elder didn't know what to say for a while. It seemed that all the information was false. He had nothing to say. Even if the information is false, it can't prove that it was Shimura Danzo who did it. The third elder suddenly said. Yes. The third elder is right. How do you prove that it was Shimura Danzo who did it? The elder said excitedly. Uchiha Fugaku sighed. He finally understood that these old guys were really hopeless. The elders are old, I think they can retire. Uchiha Fugaku said. However, his words caused a burst of laughter. The elders laughed so hard that they fell backwards. One of them even said sarcastically, "Ha ha ha, does Patriarch Fugaku want to remove the elders?" Everyone knows that in the Uchiha clan, the elders have supreme power, and their status is even higher than that of the clan leader. If they want, they can even remove Uchiha Fugaku from the position of clan leader and elect someone else to take over. Therefore, Uchiha Fugaku's words are a joke in their eyes. Throughout the history of Uchiha, only Uchiha Madara successfully resolved the threat of the elders, so everyone present thought that Uchiha Fugaku was a little whimsical. How could the elders be resolved so easily? I'm not kidding you, surrender or die. Uchiha Fugaku closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, the 3 Magatama had turned into a Mangekyo Sharingan. After seeing Uchiha Fugaku's eyes, the smiles on the faces of several elders froze. How is this possible? The elders stared in horror. How can you have those eyes? The second elder looked at Uchiha Fugaku's eyes, breathing rapidly. The Mangekyo Sharingan finally appeared. Illusion, I must have been hit by an illusion. The third elder immediately bit his tongue, trying to get rid of Uchiha Fugaku's illusion, but it was a pity that all this was in vain, because he was not hit by an illusion at all. Mangekyo Sharingan. How could you have a Mangekyo Sharingan? The fourth elder stood up excitedly, his face full of disbelief. The Uchiha clan members, who were still curious about why these elders had such a big reaction, subconsciously looked at Uchiha Fugaku's eyes after hearing the words of the fourth elder. When they saw the Mangekyo Sharingan in Uchiha Fugaku's eyes, they immediately burst into fierce exclamations. Fuck, the clan leader actually has the Mangekyo Sharingan. With this pair of eyes, won't we Uchiha be able to walk sideways in the village? No wonder the clan leader suddenly decided to launch a coup. It turns out that he opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. Ha ha ha, I believe that the clan leader will definitely lead us to change the current situation of Uchiha. After seeing Uchiha Fugaku's Mangekyo, the Uchiha present, whether they are pro-war or conservative, are very excited at this time. Because they know that the future of Uchiha is coming. The Mangekyo Sharingan has always been a symbol of absolute strength in the Uchiha clan. For so many years, except for the unmentionable Uchiha adult Uchiha Madara and his younger brother Uchiha Izuna who opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, no one in the clan has ever heard of it opening. I didn't expect that today, they can see the legendary Sharingan with their own eyes. A young man in the crowd suddenly contracted his pupils after seeing Uchiha Fugaku's pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. Clan leader, has he also opened the Mangekyo Sharingan? This young man is the young genius among the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Shisui. He won many military exploits in the Third Ninja World War at a young age, and became famous in the ninja world with his superb phantom instant body technique, and was known as Instant Body Shisui in the ninja world. Uchiha Shisui actually opened the Mangekyo Sharingan as early as the Third World War. At that time, he witnessed his loved ones die in front of him. In extreme grief, he opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. But out of caution, he did not tell anyone about his opening of his eyes, so no one in the Uchiha clan knew about his opening of his eyes. After seeing the happy expressions on the faces of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Shisui made up his mind in his heart that he must not reveal the fact that he had opened his eyes. When the clan leader opened the Mangekyo, the clan members were so excited that even the conservatives who had been against the village going to war were a little moved at this time. This was the confidence that strength brought them. It was already like this when there was a pair of Mangekyo in the clan. If everyone knew that he also had a Mangekyo, they would definitely fight to the Hokage building overnight. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the clan leaders indifferently. You old guys, do you have any objections now? The elders were stared at by Uchiha Fugaku, and they only felt an invisible majesty shrouding them. For a while, cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. However, among this group of elders, only the second elder of the pro-war faction was not affected by the pressure. He looked at his colleagues with gloating, and felt secretly happy. He had never felt this kind of proud feeling since Master Madara left. At the beginning, not long after Uchiha Madara founded Konoha with Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara found that the power and influence of the Uchiha clan were weakened in Konoha village, and his ideas and the interests of the family were not fully respected and reflected. Coupled with family confrontation and power struggles, Uchiha Madara felt disappointed with Konoha village. So, Uchiha Madara found his clansmen and wanted them to follow him to leave Konoha and find a more suitable path for the development of the Uchiha clan. Unfortunately, the Uchiha clan members at that time were already tired of war, and they cherished the hard-won peace. After knowing Uchiha Madara's decision, no one was willing to leave with him. After seeing the reactions of the clan members, Uchiha Madara just silently chose to leave Konoha alone. At that time, the second elder was just a child. He wanted to follow Madara-sama to leave, but he was completely honest after being slapped twice by his parents. But the second elder still secretly ran to the gate of Konoha village and watched Madara-sama leave. Even after so many years, he still remembers the scene vividly. One day when he ran to the door, he saw a lonely figure carrying a fan and a sickle and leaving alone in the sunset. Perhaps, at that time, Madara-sama was full of disappointment with his clan members. My clan members don't understand me, so I left alone. It was not until many years later that the second elder realized that Uchiha had been marginalized by the village after seeing the current situation of Uchiha. He knew that Madara-sama's choice was right. That day, the Uchiha clan members were immersed in a false peace and gradually corrupted. Only Madara-sama who left was looking for real peace. So, he began to incite the clan members to launch a coup, but the other elders were already trapped in the false peace and could not extricate themselves. They firmly opposed the second elder's approach and began to exclude and suppress him. As a result, he had a lot of ambitions, but nowhere to display them. Until today, after seeing Uchiha Fugaku's Mangekyo, his heart, which had been dead for many years, burned again. He knew that the future of the Uchiha clan would change. Old man, I'm asking you a question. Are you dumb? Uchiha Fugaku's words pulled the second elder back to his senses. He said excitedly, I will obey the orders of the clan leader unconditionally. Uchiha Fugaku smiled and said, haha, thank you for your support over the years, second elder. Then, he looked at the four elders with a gloomy look. Old man, do you choose to surrender or die? Hearing Uchiha Fugaku's cold words, several elders trembled. Feeling the pressure emanating from Uchiha Fugaku, they knew that Uchiha Fugaku was not kidding them. If they choose to remain silent again, they will definitely die, definitely. Several elders stood up in a panic, no longer arrogant as before, and tremblingly said, we choose to submit to Chief Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the elders in front of him and said with a smile, I still prefer the elders' previous rebellious look. Chapter 91. Hearing Uchiha Fugaku's joking words, several elders broke out in cold sweat. Haha, what's wrong with you, clan leader Fugaku? We have always been here to help you solve your problems. The decision of the clan leader is our decision, and we support it unconditionally. Yes, now that we are old, the affairs of the family can only be taken care of by you, clan leader. That's right, I'll have to trouble you, clan leader. Hearing this, Uchiha Fugaku's mouth curled up. Since several elders have said so, then I have decided to resign the positions of the first elder, the third elder, and the fourth elder, and you can go home to enjoy your old age. The smiles on the faces of several elders who were still trying to please Uchiha Fugaku froze after hearing this. They looked at Uchiha Fugaku in disbelief, as if they had not expected that he would actually resign from their positions. Uchiha Fugaku frowned unhappily and stared at them with his mangekyo. What? You don't want to? Feeling the murderous aura emanating from Uchiha Fugaku, how dare they object? The clan leader is right, we should indeed retire and enjoy our old age. Yes, now that we are old, our legs and feet are not in good condition, it is better to go home and enjoy our old age. The second elder saw the cowardly look of the few people and said disdainfully, Humph, Uchiha was ruined by you guys. Hearing the words of the second elder, the few people lowered their heads and dared not speak. Now it is different from the past. They are no longer qualified to challenge the second elder. Since you have resigned from the position of elder, you can leave. Uchiha Fugaku said. Hearing this, the elders were startled. They did not expect Uchiha Fugaku to let them leave. This meeting is related to the future of Uchiha. It is really ironic that they are not qualified to attend such an important meeting. Several elders smiled bitterly and left Nanga Shrine tremblingly with crutches. After they left, Uchiha Fugaku called the guards at the door and said, keep an eye on them. If they make any abnormal movements in secret, kill them. The guards nodded and left immediately. No one present thought that Uchiha Fugaku's approach was wrong. After all, this meeting was related to the future of Uchiha, and their plans must not be leaked because of traitors. They are the top fighting force of the family and are unconditionally loyal to the family. Therefore, they think that except for those elders, no one else will leak the matter. But what they didn't know was that there was actually a traitor among the people present who had witnessed everything that happened in the field. Uchiha Fugaku glanced at everyone, I believe you have also seen it. Old dog Danzo has forced us to have no choice but to launch a coup. Looking at the excited people, Uchiha Fugaku continued, so, I decided to launch a coup at night 3 days later. Do you agree or not? We all listened to the clan leader. At this moment, both the pro-war faction and the conservative faction looked at Uchiha Fugaku with admiration. They all felt that if Uchiha Fugaku said it, he would definitely lead them to a successful coup. It is the nature of the Uchiha to worship the strong. As long as they show enough strength, they will follow willingly. Seeing this, Uchiha Fugaku nodded with satisfaction, then let me discuss the plan for 3 days later. In the corner, Uchiha Shisui was very anxious when he saw this scene. Has the family and the village come to this point? No, he must change all this. One is the family that cultivated him, and the other is the village that instilled the will of fire in him. In his opinion, whether the family wins or the village wins, this is unacceptable to him. Just when he was anxious, Uchiha Fugaku stared at him and woke him up suddenly. Shisui, in 3 days, you will lead a group of clansmen to contain Danzo's Anbu, right? Oh, no problem, Uchiha Shisui said. Patriarch, don't worry, although Shisui is young, his strength is not inferior to us uncles. And Uchiha said with a smile. Of course, the name of Shisui of Instant Body is not called for nothing. That's right, you just wait for Shisui to kill them. Everyone is full of confidence in Shisui. After all, Shisui is the pride of the younger generation in the clan, and it is no problem for him to lead the clansmen to solve the Anbu. After hearing what his clan members said, Uchiha Shisui felt very complicated and didn't know what to do. After Uchiha Fugaku arranged all the tasks, he said to everyone, I have seen the future with my eyes, the future of the Chia clan depends on you. Quote. Understood, clan leader, everyone shouted in unison. Everyone go back and have a good rest, and gather here 3 nights later. Uchiha Fugaku said. Shisui, why are you in a daze? Go quickly. And Uchiha saw Shisui in a daze and reminded him. Uchiha Shisui came back to his senses and saw that everyone had left one after another. He nodded to the man and left. In the distance, Uchiha Fugaku looked at the back of Uchiha Shisui leaving, frowned, and murmured, how could it be like this? Now Uchiha Fugaku's words, I have seen the future, are not false. After he opened the Mangekyo, as long as he kept staring at a person, he could see the other person's future picture intermittently. This is one of his Mangekyo abilities, foresight. When he asked Shisui, he accidentally saw Shisui's future picture. In that picture, Uchiha Shisui opened the Mangekyo Sharingan and told Shimura Danzo about the Sharingan's ability. He was eventually attacked by him, and one of his eyes was taken away. He fled with serious injuries. In the end, he gave his other eye to Uchiha Itachi, and finally jumped off a cliff and died. Although Uchiha Fugaku saw Shisui's future, he was not sure if it was true. Because in that picture, Shimura Danzo was not the Hokage, but the Hokage was Sarutobi Hiruzen, who had already stepped down, and Itachi was obviously older than he is now, which made him unable to determine the truth of the content for a while. This seems to be a picture from a few years later. But I will launch a coup in 3 days. Is the future changed? Uchiha Fugaku shook his head, feeling the pupil power in the Mangekyo, and said confidently, in the face of absolute strength, any conspiracy is futile. Old dog Danzo, just clean your neck and wait. On the other side, Hokage's office, Shimura Danzo stood up suddenly, looked at Uchiha Shisui who was half kneeling on the ground and said, what did you say? Uchiha will launch a coup in 3 days. Uchiha Shisui raised his head, yes, Hokage. Hokage's office. Shimura Danzo narrowed his eyes and said in a deep voice, did Uchiha finally choose to rebel? His plan was successful, and the evil Uchiha finally fell for it. As long as the Uchiha dared to rebel, he would suppress it with thunder and send the entire Uchiha clan to heaven. Hearing Shimura Danzo's cold words, Uchiha Shisui was shocked and said quickly, Hokage, I have a way to resolve the conflict between the village and the family, please believe me. Shimura Danzo snorted coldly. Uchiha Fugaku has decided to rebel, why do you think you can stop it? Hearing this, Uchiha Shisui lowered his head. Shimura Danzo thought Shisui had nothing to say, and then said, the Uchiha clan is rebellious and has become a threat to the village. They must be eradicated. Hearing this, Uchiha Shisui raised his head and looked at Shimura Danzo, Hokage, with my eyes, I can definitely stop this from happening. Shimura Danzo subconsciously looked at Shisui's eyes. When he saw Shisui's 3 Magatama spinning non-stop until they finally formed a dart pattern, his eyes widened in horror. He subconsciously took a few steps back and exclaimed, is this the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan? After being shocked, Shimura Danzo immediately stared at Uchiha Shisui's eyes with a fiery look on his face. This is the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan. No matter what, he, Shimura Danzo, must get it. With the blessing of this pair of Mangekyo Sharingan and Hashirama's cells, I believe his strength will definitely have a qualitative leap. At that time, he will be able to take Konoha village to a higher level and completely trample all other countries under his feet. Uchiha Shisui didn't know what Shimura Danzo was thinking. He said, Hokage, the ability of my Mangekyo is that after Koto Amatsukami is used, it can subtly modify the will of others. Quote. Shimura Danzo widened his eyes in horror and trembled. You said, what? Can modify the will of others. Quote. Uchiha Shisui nodded. Yes, Hokage, I decided to use my Mangekyo ability to modify the will of the Fugaku clan and let him give up the idea of a coup. Quote. Originally, Shisui didn't want to expose his trump card, but the situation was urgent and he had to do so. After hearing Uchiha Shisui admit it himself, Shimura Danzo looked at Shisui vigilantly, in this case, I'll trouble you. Quote. Uchiha Shisui said quickly, for the village and the family, I will succeed. Shimura Danzo put one hand behind his back and said with a smile, Shisui, this matter is of great importance. Let's discuss the specific matters. As he said that, he used his other hand to signal Shisui to come forward. Uchiha Shisui did not have any doubts. He stood up and walked in front of Shimura Danzo. Shimura Danzo leaned in front of him and whispered, "Shisui, 3 days later." Uchiha Shisui listened attentively to Shimura Danzo's arrangements without any defense. At this moment, Shimura Danzo's hand, which had been placed behind his back, suddenly stretched out and grabbed Shisui's right eye. Uchiha Shisui did not have any defense, and Shimura Danzo easily grabbed Shisui's right eye. Uchiha Shisui quickly stepped back and distanced himself from Shimura Danzo. He covered his right eye and said in disbelief, "Hokage-sama, why did you do this?" Quote. Shimura Danzo untied the bandage on his right eye and stuffed Shisui's eye into it. "Shisui, your eye is very dangerous. I will not let go of anything that threatens the village." Hearing this, Uchiha Shisui said in grief, "It turns out that the village's top leaders are such people. I finally understand why the clan leader and others rebelled." Shimura Danzo did not respond to Shisui, and said coldly, "Take out his other eye for me." As soon as the voice fell, a group of Anbu and Root suddenly rushed in and surrounded Shisui. Uchiha Shisui looked at the scene in front of him with an expressionless face. At this moment, the will of fire that he had always been proud of completely collapsed. He looked at everyone expressionlessly and silently pulled out his weapon from behind. The Anbu and Root people immediately attacked Shisui, and Uchiha Shisui glared at them with his left eye. "Oh no!" The leading Anbu cried out, and then fell into Shisui's illusion, and was killed by Shisui with a single blow. "No, don't look into his eyes." As soon as the words fell, another person fell. In the distance, Shimura Danzo had a gloomy face. He didn't expect Shisui to be so strong that he could kill 2 Anbu in such a short time. After killing several people, Uchiha Shisui did not linger in the battle, because in his perception, a steady stream of people were pouring into the Hokage building. He knew without thinking, this is definitely a member of the Anbu and Root. If he doesn't leave, he will definitely die here. Thinking of this, Uchiha Shisui rushed towards Shimura Danzo without everyone's warning. Shimura Danzo was shocked. He didn't expect Shisui to rush towards him regardless of anything. He was panicked. With the strength shown by Shisui, he was definitely not an opponent. "No, Hokage is in danger. Go and protect Hokage." The members of the Anbu and Root quickly blocked in front of Shimura Danzo. Seeing this, Shimura Danzo was relieved. Now he was finally safe. But they didn't expect that Shisui's target was not Shimura Danzo, but the French window next to Shimura Danzo. Crackle! Uchiha Shisui smashed the French window and jumped down. Everyone hurried to the window to check and saw Shisui running towards the Uchiha clan's clan land. At this moment, a large number of Anbu and Root members poured into the Hokage's office. Shimura Danzo looked at Shisui's fleeing back and roared, "What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and chase him. If he succeeds in returning to Uchiha, it will be troublesome." Hearing this, the Anbu and Root present reacted, and they hurriedly left the Hokage building and chased in the direction of Shisui. Shimura Danzo was the only one left in the huge office. He gently stroked his right eye, feeling the pupil power in his eyes. He was very excited. "This pair of eyes must be obtained by me." On the street, the villagers talked a lot. "Shit, what happened? So many Anbu, is there a spy in the village? Isn't that the Uchiha clan's genius Uchiha Shisui?" Uchiha Shisui ran wildly, followed by countless Anbu and Root, who kept releasing ninjutsu and throwing shurikens at Shisui in front of him. The many attacks behind him made it difficult for him to dodge, causing him to suffer considerable injuries. "We are almost at the clan's land. I must not let my eyes fall into the hands of Shimura Danzo." Uchiha Shisui gritted his teeth. At this moment, Uchiha Shisui saw that many Anbu were waiting in front of him. Uchiha Shisui gritted his teeth. Then, he turned around and ran towards the gate of Konoha village. The Root in front did not seem to expect Shisui to suddenly change direction. After a moment of stunned silence, they reacted and hurriedly chased after him. Uchiha clan land. Clan leader, something bad has happened, something bad has happened. Hearing the voice, the clan members walked out of their homes curiously, wanting to know what had happened. When they saw the man running straight towards the clan leader's house, they followed him curiously. The Uchiha who had participated in the clan meeting felt depressed. Could it be that the news of the coup had leaked, and Shimura Danzo had brought people to attack? Thinking of this, they hurriedly followed him. Clan leader's courtyard. It was dinner time at this moment, and Uchiha Fugaku was having dinner with his family. After hearing the movement outside the house, he frowned and said to Uchiha Makoto, "You eat first, I'll go out and take a look." With that, he got up and left the room. Uchiha Itachi watched his father leave, and said to Uchiha Makoto, "Mother, I'll go out and take a look too." Then he also left the room. Seeing this, Uchiha Makoto no longer had the heart to eat. She took little Sasuke and followed him out. Outside the door, after seeing Uchiha Fugaku come out, the Uchiha clan members anxiously said, "Master, something bad has happened. Shisui is being surrounded and killed by the Anbu now, and he has already run out of the village." Hearing this, the Uchiha present were furious, and one by one they opened their Sharingan. Uchiha Fugaku's heart sank. Shisui was being hunted by Danzo, and it seemed that what happened in the future picture was true. Shisui really opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, and then was taken away by Shimura Danzo, and finally had to choose to jump off the cliff to end his life. Thinking of this, Uchiha Fugaku clenched his fists. Shisui actually opened the Mangekyo, which was the top combat power in the clan. He would never let the things in the picture happen again. Uchiha Fugaku roared, "I think Shimura Danzo is tired of living, and he actually attacked me, Uchiha. Come with me to save Shisui. The clan leader is right, go and save Shisui." Uchiha Fugaku led the clan members to leave the clan land in a mighty manner and ran towards the outside of Konoha village. Uchiha Itachi, who had just walked to the door, was stunned when he heard the shouts of the crowd, "Shisui is in danger." After learning the news, he did not hesitate at all and hurriedly followed the Uchiha army to leave. You must know that Shisui is Itachi's best friend. They often practice together and make progress together. Shisui is more like Itachi's predecessor, who has taught Itachi many things, and the friendship between the two is deep. He must not watch Shisui in danger. At this time, Uchiha Itachi did not notice that the three Magatama in his eyes were spinning rapidly. On the other side, outside Konoha village. "He's right in front of us, don't let him run away." Uchiha Shisui dragged his seriously injured body, looking at the endless stream of pursuers behind him, and he was extremely desperate. "Am I going to die here?" While running, Shisui suddenly saw a cliff in front of him. When he saw this scene, he was even more desperate. It was difficult to get rid of the pursuers, and now he is really desperate. "Uchiha Shisui, hand over your eyes obediently, maybe the Hokage will spare your life." Uchiha Shisui stared coldly at the people in front of him. He was pale because of excessive blood loss. "You are already at the end of your strength, are you still struggling to death?" Uchiha Shisui smiled bitterly. The other party was right. He no longer had the strength to resist. He regretted very much that he easily believed Shimura Danzo. In the final analysis, Uchiha Shisui was poisoned by the will of fire. Under the subtle influence of the will of fire, he believed that the village was more important than his family, which led to his overtrust in the village, which led to his capture by Shimura Danzo and his fall to this point. Uchiha Shisui sighed, "I'm sorry for my family." Then he jumped off the cliff. Everyone present was shocked. They didn't expect Uchiha Shisui to choose to jump off the cliff. They hurried to the edge of the cliff to check, but there was nothing below except the rushing water. Everyone looked at each other in bewilderment. Uchiha Shisui jumped off the cliff to commit suicide. It's hard to explain to the Hokage now. There's no way, I can only go back and tell the Hokage. Just when everyone wanted to leave, a cold voice sounded behind them. "Did I let you leave?" Hearing this, everyone hurriedly looked back vigilantly. When they saw the scene behind them, they were completely dumbfounded. They saw countless pairs of scarlet eyes staring at them in the darkness, which made them feel creepy. "Oh no, it's Uchiha." Uchiha Fugaku roared, "How dare you kill the genius of my Uchiha clan? I am tired of living. Stop, we are the Anbu directly under Lord Hokage. The Uchiha clan leader attacked us. Is he trying to rebel?" Uchiha Fugaku sneered, "Don't worry, after I get rid of you, I will send Shimura Danzo to accompany you." Hearing this, they were shocked. They didn't expect that the Uchiha clan really planned to rebel. While speaking, Uchiha Fugaku had already rushed into the crowd and started killing. The sharp blade in his hand flashed with cold light, and every swing brought a bloody storm. Other Uchiha also joined the battle. The swords and shadows crossed, and screams came one after another. Those members of the Root and the Anbu were no match for the Uchiha. This battle was obviously a one-sided massacre by the Uchiha. The battle ended quickly. The battlefield was full of the bodies of the Root and the Anbu members. The blood gathered into a river, dyeing the land under their feet red. Uchiha Itachi's body was covered in blood. He threw the knife on the ground and slowly walked to the edge of the cliff. Uchiha Fugaku was stunned when he saw Itachi. He didn't expect Itachi to follow him. After seeing the blood stains on Itachi's body, Uchiha Fugaku's eyes were full of admiration. He was worthy of being his son. Uchiha Itachi knelt on the ground, looking at the rushing river below in silence. The three magatama in his eyes were spinning at a very fast speed, and finally formed the shape of a shuriken. Witnessing his friend's death in front of him, Uchiha Itachi completely opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Itachi said angrily, "Shisui, I will avenge you." The Uchiha clan members looked at the Uchiha kneeling on the ground with complicated expressions. They didn't expect Shisui to die like this, which made them feel very sorry. Uchiha Fugaku walked behind Uchiha Itachi and comforted him, "Itachi, we will help Shisui avenge." Quote, Shisui and Itachi were good friends. He knew that, now that his son's friend was dead, as a father he would certainly say words of comfort. Uchiha Itachi stood up and said coldly, "Father, I will help Shisui to avenge himself." As he said that, Uchiha Itachi turned around. Uchiha Fugaku's pupils shrank sharply after seeing the kaleidoscope in Itachi's eyes. Hokage building. Hokage, Uchiha Fugaku is coming with his clan members. An Anbu said anxiously. Upon hearing this, the Anbu members around him became agitated. They did not expect that the Uchiha clan, as a major clan of Konoha, would actually rebel. What should they do? Looking at the panicked crowd, Shimura Danzo seemed particularly calm. Haha, the Uchiha clan was finally fooled. Next, just wait for the Uchiha clan to be exterminated. Shimura Danzo said lightly, "If the Uchiha clan wants to rebel, let's see if they have the strength to do so." He looked at the shadows and said, "Aburame Tone, Yamanaka Fu, you lead the Root members to intercept the Uchiha clan." Aburame Tone and Yamanaka Fu walked out of the dark, knelt on one knee respectfully in front of Shimura Danzo, and said in unison, "Promise to complete the mission." As soon as the words fell, the two stood up and walked out of the Hokage's office. Shimura Danzo looked at the backs of the two people leaving and nodded with satisfaction. These two people have always been his capable men. Shimura Danzo still has confidence in their strength and believes that they can still contain Uchiha for a while. Shimura Danzo looked at the members of the Anbu beside him. "Uchiha rebelled, Konoha's regime is in danger. You should go back to your respective families and tell your clan leader about this matter, and let him lead the clan members to assist me." Hearing this, the Anbu present nodded and then turned around and left the Hokage's office. After all, most of the members of the Anbu are ninjas from various families in Konoha village. I believe that after learning about this, the clan leaders will definitely not stand idly by. However, what Shimura Danzo didn't know was that these clan leaders didn't seem to want to send troops to help him. The Sarutobi clan. An Anbu of the Sarutobi clan knelt on the ground. "Clan leader, the Uchiha coup, the Hokage requires you to send troops to help." Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the Anbu kneeling on the ground and said, "You should know that being a member of the Sarutobi clan is your identity, and being an Anbu is just your job." The Anbu was shocked. He quickly took off the mask on his face and kowtowed to Sarutobi Hiruzen, "Clan leader, I understand." Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of his pipe and said with a smile, "Since Danzo chose to confront Uchiha, then let him and his roots bear the wrath of Uchiha." He really didn't expect that Shimura Danzo was so shameless that he sneaked up on Uchiha Shisui, took his eyes, and finally forced Uchiha Shisui to die. This incident made the Uchiha clan furious, and they wanted to find Shimura Danzo to ask for an explanation. The reason why the Uchiha clan sent troops was to avenge Uchiha Shisui, not to launch a coup. "Patriarch, won't our Sarutobi clan send troops?" Sarutobi Hiruzen said, "We will keep our troops in place for now." Sarutobi Hiruzen gloated, "Danzo, I think you are going to get into trouble." Hyuga clan. "Patriarch, Uchiha coup, will we really not send troops to help the Hokage?" asked the Hyuga clan's Anbu. Hyuga Heihachi rolled his eyes at him. This is all Shimura Danzo's fault, and he deserves to be killed by Uchiha. Since Shimura Danzo became Hokage, he has begun to intentionally or unintentionally suppress the economy of their families. As a result, the income of Hyuga Heihachi's store has been getting lower and lower during this period. They have long been unhappy with Shimura Danzo, who would have thought that Shimura Danzo, an acting Hokage, would actually become the Hokage. Whenever these clan leaders think of this, they feel extremely regretful. If they had known earlier, they would not have allowed Shimura Danzo to be the acting Hokage. This is really shooting themselves in the foot. Now that the Uchiha clan is rebelling, Hyuga Heihachi is hoping that Shimura Danzo will be killed by Uchiha Fugaku. In this way, someone can be re-elected as Hokage. He would rather let Uchiha people serve as Hokage than let Shimura Danzo continue to serve. Such things happened in the major families of Konoha. They all chose to remain silent in the face of Shimura Danzo's request. At this time, Shimura Danzo did not know the seriousness of the matter. He stared at the distance, where a fierce battle broke out. It was the battle between the Uchiha clan and the root members. Uchiha, do you still want to rebel? Aburame Togen scolded the group of Uchiha opposite. Uchiha Fugaku sneered, Shimura Danzo killed Uchiha Shisui, and he must pay with his life. Don't waste your time talking to them, clan leader, just push them over. Uchiha shouted. Hearing this, Uchiha Fugaku nodded, kill. Anyone who stops me will die. As he said this, he rushed towards the root members first. Seeing this, the Uchiha hurriedly followed behind Uchiha Fugaku. Charge! Yamanaka Fung roared. In an instant, the two sides fought each other. Yamano Fung, stay away from me. Aburame Togen took off his protective suit. In an instant, his body was covered with black poisonous insects, and these black poisonous insects flew towards the Uchiha clan members. An Uchiha who was fighting with the root suddenly saw that the body of the root in front of him began to rot rapidly. He was shocked and hurriedly retreated. When he saw clearly that it was a group of poisonous insects that corroded the opponent's body, his expression was solemn, be careful, don't be touched by these black insects. While he was speaking, he didn't notice that there was a group of black poisonous insects flying towards him at a very fast speed behind him. Be careful behind. Hearing this, he hurriedly looked back and found that the group of poisonous insects was less than half a meter away from him. It's over. He couldn't react at all at such a tight distance, and could only choose to wait for death. He subconsciously closed his eyes. In the distance, Aburame Togen's mouth curled up, I succeeded. At this moment, a ball of black flame suddenly attached to the group of insects, and the insects turned into powder in an instant. Aburame Togen's pupils suddenly shrank. What kind of flame is this? Just as he was shocked, he suddenly felt a pain in his back. He turned his head and found a ball of black flame burning on his back. Ah! The severe pain made him roll on the ground constantly, trying to put out the flame, but it was a pity that all this was in vain. Togen! Yamanaka Fung exclaimed at Aburame Togen on the ground. You should take care of yourself first. A voice suddenly sounded behind Yamanaka Fung. Before he could make any move, he felt a pain in his neck. He quickly covered his neck and found that a bloodline appeared on his neck at some point. When he realized this problem, it was too late. Yamanaka Fang's eyes were full of unwillingness. He took a last look in the direction of the Hokage building and then fell to the ground. Uchiha Itachi looked coldly at Yamanaka Keisa's body. At this time, only a pile of ashes remained on the ground. Is this the power of Amaterasu? Uchiha Itachi murmured. With the help of Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo, the battle was over soon. Uchiha Fugaku walked to Itachi's side and said, Itachi, unless it is absolutely necessary, it is better to use the Mangekyo less, it will affect your eyesight. Hearing his father's words, Uchiha Itachi was stunned. It would have been better if his father hadn't said it. Fortunately, he really felt a little sore in his eyes after hearing his father's words. Father, is this the sequelae of using the Mangekyo Sharingan? Uchiha Itachi asked. Uchiha Fugaku nodded, I guess so. The power of the Mangekyo will decrease after using it for a long time, until the eyes are completely blind in the end. Hearing this, Uchiha Itachi silently turned off the Mangekyo. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the remaining clansmen and shouted, Everyone, now we will fight to the Hokage building in one go. Kill, kill, kill. The shouts of the Uchiha clan members resounded throughout the streets of Konoha. It was late at night. After hearing the noise, many villagers walked to the door curiously and looked around. When they saw the scene in front of them, they were stunned. There were countless pairs of scarlet eyes in the darkness, which made people feel creepy. There were many corpses lying in all directions behind them. The villagers at the door froze when they found that the Uchiha people cast their eyes on them. They quickly covered their eyes. I didn't see anything, I just came out to pee, I'd better go back to the house to sleep. As they said, the villagers quickly closed the door. Uchiha people. Old woman, I saw Uchiha kill people with my own eyes, don't you think they will rush in and kill me? A villager ran into the house and shouted in panic. The old woman on the bed was awakened. She walked outside the house, opened the door and said unhappily, "Why are you not sleeping in the middle of the night? There is no Uchiha outside the door." Huh. The villager walked to the door curiously, and indeed did not find the figure of Uchiha, even the corpse in the distance disappeared. The villager scratched his head, did I just dream? The old woman rolled her eyes and said unhappily, go back to sleep. Okay. The villager quickly closed the door. In the distance. Leave a few people to deal with the bodies, and the rest of you follow me. Uchiha Fugaku said. As he said that, Uchiha Fugaku moved at full speed towards the Hokage building. The Uchiha clan members quickly followed him. The Uchiha people were very excited. Soon they would be able to succeed in the coup, and then Konoha village would be the world of their Uchiha. Hokage building. Seeing the sudden silence in the distance, Shimura Danzo's face turned pale. What a waste, I didn't expect it to be solved so quickly. In his imagination, Aburame Togen and Yamanaka Fu led the members of the route to resist the Uchiha for a while, and wait for other clan leaders to come with reinforcements, so as to eliminate the Uchiha in one fell swoop. But now, not only were the people of the route killed by the Uchiha quickly, but the reinforcements from other families have not arrived yet. Shimura Danzo cursed. What are these families for? Why haven't they come after so long? He said to several Anbu. Let the major families help quickly, the Uchiha is coming back. The Anbu hurriedly took the order. Shimura Danzo touched his right eye with his hand. It seems that Shisui's left eye can't be taken back. However, the right eye is enough. But he suddenly thought of something and shouted, everyone go out and try to delay the Uchiha before the reinforcements arrive. Hearing this, all the Anbu stayed outside the Hokage building. Seeing this, Shimura Danzo breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that he was temporarily safe. Even if the Uchiha really came, he could still run away in the chaos. Outside the Hokage building. Why haven't the family's reinforcements come yet? I don't know, maybe they are on the way. We must hold on until the reinforcements arrive. Poor guys, they don't know that their family leader has no intention of sending troops to help, and they are still waiting foolishly. Just then, many pairs of scarlet eyes suddenly appeared in the darkness. The Uchiha people are coming. Protect the safety of the Hokage and wait for the reinforcements to arrive. Uchiha Fugaku walked out of the shadows. My target is Shimura Danzo, whoever stops me will die. Feeling the murderous aura emanating from Uchiha Fugaku, the Anbu swallowed their saliva, feeling that the Uchiha clan leader was terribly strong. Kill! Uchiha Fugaku shouted. The Uchiha clan members rushed towards the Anbu without any hesitation. A fierce battle broke out between the two sides immediately. In an instant, the explosions of various ninjutsu, shuriken, and detonating tags were heard. Shimura Danzo looked at the battle below and was very anxious. Uchiha has reached the door, reinforcements, why hasn't the army come yet? Quote. Did the clan leaders never think of sending troops? Sure enough, the plan could not keep up with the changes, and he realized that he had gone too far. Thinking of this, Shimura Danzo's face changed and he cursed, these guys are playing me. Without any hesitation, he hurriedly left the Hokage building and ran in one direction. I must not be caught by these Uchiha. Shimura Danzo began to run wildly. Outside the Hokage building. It's over. Uchiha Fugaku roared, and a black skeleton suddenly appeared on the surface of his body. Whether it was the Anbu or the Uchiha people present, they opened their mouths in shock after seeing this scene. What is this? Could it be that this is the legendary Susanoo? Quote. After Uchiha Fugaku opened Susanoo, those Anbu members had no power to resist at all, and 80% of them were solved in a short time. Monster. Monster. Quote, this is definitely not a power that a human can possess. Mom, I want to go home. The remaining Anbu members began to flee in all directions. Uchiha Fugaku had no intention of chasing them, after all, his target was Shimura Danzo, so he lifted Susanoo. At this time, the Uchiha people had not recovered from their shock. Uchiha Itachi murmured, is this the true power of the Mangekyo? Uchiha Fugaku rubbed his eyes and said to everyone, Shimura Danzo is up there, everyone rush. The Uchiha people came back to their senses, their faces were full of excitement, they didn't expect the clan leader to be so powerful. In this way, who dares to stop them from becoming Hokage? Uchiha Fugaku led the clan members to rush into the Hokage, and he kicked open the door of the office. Danzo, old dog, come out and die. At this moment, the office was empty. Chow, this old dog actually ran so fast. Hurry up and chase him, don't let him run away. Uchiha Fugaku shouted. Hearing this, the Uchiha people hurriedly left the Hokage and began to search around Konoha village. Just as Uchiha Fugaku was about to leave, he suddenly caught a glimpse of the Hokage's hat on the table. Search quickly, don't let that old man Danzo run away. The Uchiha people began to search everywhere in the streets and alleys of Konoha. In the dark, Shimura Danzo looked at the Uchiha people and gnashed his teeth in anger. Uchiha. The big families, how dare you do this to me? He secretly swore in his heart that if he could leave Konoha alive, he would make those who betrayed him wish they were dead in the future. After the Uchiha people left, Shimura Danzo walked out carefully, and when he saw that there was no one around, he hurriedly ran towards the Shimura clan. As long as he successfully returned to the clan, with the protection of the clan members on the street, he would be able to escape Konoha village safely. At this moment, a white head suddenly popped out in front of Shimura Danzo. You again, you still want to threaten me with my secrets, right? Shimura Danzo said in a deep voice. Oh my, Lord Hokage, what are you talking about? White Zetsu said, just tell me whether you will give it or not. Shimura Danzo was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. Although the wool comes from the sheep, this guy can't just grab him and fleece the sheep. This white Zetsu has come 5 or 6 times with his secrets, and now he is here again. Doesn't it see what time it is now? He is being hunted by the Uchiha, and if he is not careful, he will be discovered by the Uchiha people and then hacked to death. At this critical moment, White Zetsu actually came to ask him for money. Isn't this just making trouble? Shimura Danzo's face was livid. We agreed before that it would be 20 million for keeping quiet, but I gave you nearly 50 million in total, why are you still not satisfied? What did you do with the money? Hearing this, Baizetsu scratched his head awkwardly and said, I owed a lot of debts in the casino recently, so I came to you again. Shimura Danzo. After a while, he said angrily, asshole, you actually took so much money to gamble, not only did you lose it all, but you also owed a debt. Shimura Danzo's eyes were full of distress, because the money that Baizetsu lost was all his hard-earned money. It actually lost all the money, which was more painful than killing him. Want to ask me for money? No way, just wait to be beaten to death by the debt collectors. Shimura Danzo gritted his teeth. Baizetsu didn't expect Shimura Danzo to dare to refuse its request, which was simply tired of living. Lord Hokage, are you really unwilling to pay? Baizetsu narrowed his eyes. Of course, at worst you can leak the information, I'm not afraid of you. Shimura Danzo said angrily. After all, Shimura Danzo is in a very dangerous situation now, even surviving is a problem, how can he care about the secret being exposed? Hearing what Shimura Danzo said, Baizetsu was stunned. It didn't expect Shimura Danzo to be so tough. Okay. Baizetsu smiled and said, if my information is correct, you are being hunted by Uchiha now. If you don't pay, I will shout. Hearing this, Shimura Danzo's mouth twitched, and he said with a bitter face, don't do it, Lord Baizetsu. I'll give it. Isn't it okay for me to give it? As he said, he quickly took out a scroll and handed it to Baizetsu. Lord Baizetsu, this is all my savings, please accept it with a smile. Quote. White Zetsu took the scroll, felt the weight of it, and nodded with satisfaction, not bad, you know what's good for you. Master White Zetsu, can I leave now? Shimura Danzo said cautiously. Yes, you can leave. White Zetsu focused all his attention on the scroll, ignoring Shimura Danzo. It was so excited, with this little money, it could definitely win back its capital in the casino. Shimura Danzo was relieved to see that White Zetsu did not embarrass him. He stared at White Zetsu in front of him with a gloomy expression, and kept swearing in his heart that he would never let this White Zetsu go. He is the Hokage of Konoha village, but he was threatened again and again. Doesn't he have any face? Shimura Danzo even he quickly bypassed Bai Zetsu and headed towards the Shimura clan. Bai Zetsu looked at the back of Shimura Danzo leaving and murmured, since I can't make money from Shimura Danzo, maybe I can try it on Uchiha. Shimura clan. Uchiha Fugaku had already started waiting in the Shimura clan with a group of Uchiha. As long as they saw Shimura Danzo, they would go up and kill him without hesitation. Master, can we really catch the old dog Danzo like this? Asked an Uchiha. The monk can run away, but the temple cannot. I believe Shimura Danzo will definitely come back, said Uchiha Fugaku. I see, you are worthy of being the master, you are smart. Praised an Uchiha. Not far away. In the darkness, Shimura Danzo heard Uchiha Fugaku's words clearly, and he cursed inwardly, Uchiha, so cunning. Fortunately, he did not enter the clan land directly, but chose to check it out first, otherwise he would have been hacked to death by the Uchiha people at this moment. Shimura Danzo's face was full of despair. Since the Uchiha could stand at the door in a swagger, this means that the members of the Shimura clan have been slaughtered by the Uchiha. Without the cover of the clan members, how can he escape from the pursuit of the Uchiha? Just when Shimura Danzo felt desperate, a person suddenly appeared in his mind. If it was him, maybe he could really help him escape. Thinking of this, Shimura Danzo's eyes lit up, and he quickly turned around and prepared to leave. Crack! Just then, he suddenly stepped on a branch and made a sound. Shimura Danzo knew that he was exposed, and he quickly started to run away. Who's there? Uchiha Fugaku shouted. When he saw the bat clearly, he was immediately excited, it's old dog Danzo. Chase him. Uchiha Fugaku took the lead and chased after Shimura Danzo. The Uchiha people also reacted quickly and chased after him, come on. Shimura Danzo is here. Oh my, am I late? Bai Zetsu looked regretful. Hearing the movement here, Uchiha far away also rushed over and joined the army chasing Shimura Danzo. Shimura Danzo found that there were more and more Uchiha behind him, and he was scared to death. His feet were almost running out of afterimages, but he still couldn't get rid of the Uchiha behind him. Old dog Danzo, give me your life. Uchiha Fugaku behind him roared. At this time, Shimura Danzo was sweating profusely. He began to regret his original decision. He should not have attacked the Uchiha clan earlier. After running for his life, he soon arrived near the Sarutobi ancestral land. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen was standing at the door of the clan land smoking a pipe. Shimura Danzo saw this and immediately shouted excitedly, Hiruzen, save me. Hearing Danzo's words, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was at the door, was stunned. Sarutobi Hiruzen heard the voice and subconsciously turned his head to look in the direction of the voice. When he saw Shimura Danzo, he couldn't help but feel a little surprised. Danzo is still alive. Sarutobi Hiruzen muttered to himself, hasn't the Uchiha family killed him yet? It seems that Uchiha Fugaku's efficiency needs to be improved. As he thought, he shook his head unconsciously. However, at this moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly realized a problem. What was Danzo shouting just now? Wait, he seemed to want me to save him. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned slightly and said to himself in confusion. As he said that, Sarutobi Hiruzen subconsciously cast his eyes behind Shimura Danzo. When he saw the densely packed, scarlet flashing Sharingan, his body trembled violently, and a chill rose from his spine. Uchiha, so many Uchiha, this is too scary. Tonic, come here, Sarutobi Hiruzen screamed. Hiruzen, save me, the Uchiha clan is rebelling and wants to kill me. Shimura Danzo said anxiously. I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Sarutobi Hiruzen covered his ears and ran into the clan land. Seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen walking into the clan land, Shimura Danzo hurriedly accelerated and wanted to follow him in. But when he just ran to the door, the clan land gate was suddenly closed by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Shimura Danzo looked at the suddenly closed door with a confused face. How did Hiruzen close the door? Bang bang bang. When he reacted, he began to bang the door frantically. Hiruzen, open the door quickly, I haven't entered yet. Behind the door, Sarutobi Hiruzen held the door tightly. Danzo, I told you not to push the Uchiha into a corner, but you just wouldn't listen. Now, you're ready to bear the wrath of the Uchiha. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, Shimura Danzo slammed the door even harder. Hiruzen, I know I was wrong. Hurry up and open the door. The Uchiha will attack soon. You know the Uchiha is attacking, but you still want me to open the door and let you in. Sarutobi Hiruzen said unhappily, I dare not let you in. What if the Uchiha gets angry and kills me? He. Die, old dog Danzo, said Uchiha Fugaku. Hearing the voice behind him, Shimura Danzo turned his head in disbelief. When did you come here? Puff. Uchiha Fugaku didn't waste any words and quickly stabbed the knife in his hand into Shimura Danzo's body. Shimura Danzo looked at Uchiha Fugaku unwillingly, and finally leaned against the gate of the Sarutobi clan, slowly sat on the ground, and finally his neck tilted and he lost his life. Ha, old dog Danzo is finally dead. Uchiha Fugaku laughed up to the sky. The clan leader is mighty, the clan leader is domineering, the Uchiha shouted in unison. Inside the clan, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt very uncomfortable after hearing the noise outside. His old friend died just like that, died in the Uchiha clan's coup. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed, who told you not to listen to my advice? Now it's all right, you didn't listen to the old man's words and died in front of me. But don't worry, Danzo, we are friends after all, I will help you collect the body. Sarutobi Hiruzen murmured. Chop up Shimura Danzo's body and feed it to the dogs. Uchiha Fugaku shouted. Sarutobi Hiruzen. He smiled bitterly and shook his head. Danzo, it's not that I don't want to help you collect your body. You just heard it, they plan to chop you up and feed you to the dogs. I can't just wait for those dogs to defecate, right? Do I have to collect their feces and bury them as your body? That's ridiculous. After saying that, he sighed deeply, and a complex emotion flashed in his eyes. He really didn't expect that his old friend would end up with a dead body, which was really tragic. Uchiha Fugaku walked to Shimura Danzo's body, stretched out his hand to untie the bandage on Shimura Danzo's right eye, and wanted to dig out Shisui's eyes. At this moment, Shimura Danzo's closed eyes suddenly opened, and Shisui's 3 Magatama Sharingan in his right eye suddenly turned into a kaleidoscope. Not good. Uchiha Fugaku was shocked and quickly opened the kaleidoscope to resist Shimura Danzo's illusion. Shimura Danzo raised the corner of his mouth and slowly stood up from the ground. Success. Seeing Uchiha Fugaku standing there in a daze, the Uchiha clan members anxiously asked, Clan leader, what's wrong with you? Uchiha Fugaku did not speak. Shimura Danzo said proudly, your clan leader said that he would let me leave Konoha village. Asshole, what are you talking about? I'll kill you. Uchiha Chiya drew out the samurai sword from his waist and wanted to rush forward to kill Shimura Danzo. At this moment, Uchiha Fugaku suddenly said, stop. Upon hearing this, all the Uchiha were stunned. They said in disbelief, Patriarch, why did you let this guy go? Uchiha Fugaku frowned and said, he is the Hokage after all. Killing him will make the Uchiha gossip. After hearing Uchiha Fugaku's explanation, although the Uchiha were dissatisfied, they couldn't say anything. Shimura Danzo looked proud. He didn't expect that Koto Amatsukami was so powerful. He just used Koto Amatsukami on Uchiha Fugaku to let the other party let him go. Unexpectedly, it really worked. The effect of Koto Amatsukami is really amazing. Shimura Danzo is very glad that he took away Shisui's eyes before. This decision is really correct. Shimura Danzo looked at the gate of the Sarutobi clan and said unhappily, Sarutobi Hiruzen, I didn't expect you to be such a person, I am really disappointed. Hearing Shimura Danzo's words, Sarutobi Hiruzen exclaimed, Danzo, aren't you dead? Hehe, even if you die, I won't die. Although I am forced to leave Konoha village now, I will definitely come back. Shimura Danzo said. I'm leaving first, goodbye, old friend. With that, Shimura Danzo turned and left. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen opened the door and wanted to take one last look at his old friend. When he opened the door and saw the scene in front of him, his pupils shrank sharply. I saw Uchiha Itachi suddenly appeared behind Danzo with a knife. Before Sarutobi Hiruzen could warn him, Uchiha Itachi stabbed the knife into Danzo's back. Shimura Danzo turned his head to look at Uchiha Itachi, who had a cold expression, and said in disbelief, "How can you do it? You are controlling my father, not me. Why can't I do it?" Uchiha Itachi said coldly. Itachi just saw that his father was under Shimura Danzo's illusion, and the source of the illusion was Shisui's eyes, so he took advantage of the fact that everyone didn't react and suddenly took action to get rid of him. Shimura Danzo's eyes dimmed, and finally fell to the ground. "Alas, I saw you dead just after opening the door, and now you really died in front of me." Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed. At this point, Konoha Pot King was completely offline. Sarutobi Hiruzen walked to the body of Shimura Danzo in silence. He recalled the little things they had experienced together over the years, and a feeling of sadness arose in his heart. "Old man, what are you looking at? If you keep looking, I'll kill you too." A Uchiha shouted at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched, and he smiled awkwardly. "I'll leave now." At this moment, a group of people suddenly appeared in the distance, holding torches in their hands, and were running towards the Sarutobi clan at a very fast speed. Uchiha Fugaku saw the people coming, and his face instantly darkened. "These guys want to share the cake." Hearing the words of the clan leader, the Uchiha clan members all clenched their weapons and looked at the newcomers with murderous intent. Who on earth was this person? How dare he be so bold to come and snatch their Uchiha cake? When they ran closer, the Uchiha clan members saw clearly that they were people from the major families of Konoha. These guys haven't appeared for such a long time, and they rushed over as soon as Shimura Danzo died. It's really interesting. The clan leaders of the major families rushed to the body of Shimura Danzo, their eyes full of disbelief. "Hokage-sama, why did you leave for no reason? Hokage-sama, you haven't led Konoha village to become bigger and stronger, why did you leave just like that? We will definitely find the murderer and help you get revenge." Seeing the clan leaders crying, Uchiha Fugaku couldn't help laughing. Hearing Uchiha Fugaku's laughter, the clan leaders raised their heads and looked at him angrily. Clan leader Fugaku, "Hokage is dead, what are you laughing at?" Clan leader Fugaku, "Do you know who the real murderer is who killed Hokage?" "Yes, clan leader Fugaku must know who the murderer is. Tell us now." Uchiha Fugaku looked at everyone with a playful expression. "Clan leaders, do you really want to know who the murderer is?" Hearing this, some clan leaders seemed to see that something was wrong. But some clan leaders still asked stupidly, "Clan leader Fugaku, tell us the murderer now." "That's right, we want to avenge Hokage." Uchiha Fugaku looked at these clan leaders and sneered, "The murderer who killed Shimura Danzo is me." All the clan leaders were confused. Why didn't Uchiha Fugaku play by the rules? Shouldn't they say that the murderer is so-and-so, who fled Konoha village after killing Shimura Danzo? In this way, they can put the blame on the fictitious murderer, and then they can re-elect the Hokage. But now Uchiha Fugaku actually admitted that Shimura Danzo was killed by him. They didn't know what to say for a while. Uchiha Fugaku certainly knew the little tricks in the hearts of these clan leaders. He originally wanted to put the blame for Shimura Danzo's death on others. But in this way, these clan leaders can re-elect the Hokage, and then Uchiha Fugaku's idea of becoming Hokage will be ruined. After all, these guys will never nominate themselves as Hokage. It's better to put this matter in the open and choose to force them to agree by force. At that time, if they don't agree with him to be the Hokage, then they will all be killed. Uchiha Fugaku is still absolutely confident in his own strength. At worst, there is still his son Uchiha Itachi. With these two pairs of Mangekyo, plus the elites of the Uchiha clan, the power that bursts out is very terrifying. Uchiha Fugaku felt a little sorry. If Uchiha Shisui was still alive, there would be 3 pairs of Mangekyo in the clan, but it was a pity that Shisui died. But it doesn't matter. 2 pairs of Mangekyo are enough for Uchiha to dominate Konoha. Clan leader Fugaku, what do you mean? Nara Shikaku swallowed his saliva. He felt that things seemed to be beyond his expectations, as if he had gone too far. Originally, he just regarded Uchiha as a knife to eliminate Shimura Danzo. But now this knife is very unstable, and it may cut them all together if you don't pay attention. No other meaning, just want to tell you that I killed Shimura Danzo. Uchiha Fugaku said. Come quickly if you want revenge. Hearing this, Nara Shikaku's forehead was covered with cold sweat. Now he can be sure that he has really gone too far. All the clan leaders were stunned, and no one spoke for a while. Uchiha Fugaku looked at these people with indifference, with a disdainful smile on his lips. How dare that old man Shimura Danzo murder the genius of our Uchiha clan, Uchiha Shisui? Uchiha Fugaku said in a deep voice. Now, I have killed him with my own hands and avenged our Uchiha clan. Since the Hokage is dead, I should take over this position. You who is in favor and who is against? Quote. The clan leaders stared at Uchiha Fugaku with their eyes wide open, looking at him in disbelief. They had never thought that Uchiha Fugaku would be so bold and dare to make such a request directly. Clan leader Fugaku, don't push your luck. The position of Hokage is not something that anyone can get their hands on. As soon as Uchiha Fugaku finished speaking, two clan leaders stood up and accused him fiercely. After hearing this, a trace of displeasure flashed across Uchiha Fugaku's face. He clenched the knife in his hand and appeared in front of them with a swish. As Uchiha Fugaku raised his knife and fell, the heads of the two men left their bodies, and they died before they even had time to scream. The other clan leaders looked at the scene in horror. They realized that Uchiha Fugaku had gone completely crazy and wanted to get the position of Hokage at all costs. After getting rid of the two, Uchiha Fugaku looked at the other clan leaders. Does anyone have any objection to me being the Hokage? Quote. As he spoke, he opened his Mangekyo Sharingan. When everyone saw his eyes, they opened their mouths in shock. The moment they saw Uchiha Fugaku's eyes, a word suddenly appeared in their minds, Mangekyo. They didn't expect that Uchiha Fugaku actually opened his Mangekyo Sharingan. They knew the horror of the Mangekyo Sharingan. After all, the owner of the last pair of Mangekyo Sharingan in Uchiha was Uchiha Madara, who could stand shoulder to shoulder with the god of ninja, Hashirama Senju. Uchiha Fugaku saw everyone's shocked look and nodded with satisfaction. Everyone, do you still have any objections to me being the Hokage now? After knowing Uchiha Fugaku's strength, how dare the clan leaders have any objections? They nodded in agreement. I think it is very correct for clan leader Fugaku to be the Hokage. That's right, I believe that with clan leader Fugaku leading, Konoha village will be more prosperous. Quote. Patriarch Fugaku is the hope of Konoha village. Faced with everyone's compliments, Uchiha Fugaku laughed. Haha, don't worry, when I become Hokage, I will definitely lead Konoha village to prosperity. Patriarch is mighty. Patriarch is mighty. The Uchiha clan members shouted excitedly. Seeing this, Uchiha Itachi was a little dazed. He didn't expect that the matter would be resolved like this. He originally thought that the family would fight to the death with the village, thus causing Konoha village to fall into decline. But the fact was not like this. The coup ended with the death of Shimura Danzo and his father becoming Hokage. Uchiha Itachi murmured. Shisui, you seem to think too seriously. Somewhere in the land of fire, Uchiha Obito walked out of the woods with a dusty face and a bloody hole on his arm. What Black Zetsu said was right. I was caught stealing, Uchiha Obito complained. He blamed Black Zetsu for his injury. If it weren't for the vicious words Black Zetsu said before, he wouldn't have been caught and almost beaten to death. Originally, he sneaked into the vault of a rich man in the land of fire and started working as a porter as usual. Because he lost the Pathfinder Black Zetsu, he ran into the rich man in the vault when he entered the vault. Uchiha Obito didn't panic after finding out that he was exposed. Because in his perception, the rich man was just an ordinary person, so he wanted to get rid of him before he shouted. But to his surprise, the ordinary man, who suddenly appeared on the opposite side, did not panic at all, but quietly put his hand on his waist. After seeing the other party's action, Uchiha Obito did not care and continued to reach out to the rich man. After all, even if an ordinary person has some trump cards, it is impossible to threaten him. When seeing the rich man take out a black iron lump from his waist, Uchiha Obito sneered. It was simply wishful thinking to want to hurt him with this broken copper and rotten iron. At this moment, the black iron lump made a loud bang. Under the observation of Uchiha Obito's Sharingan, a flame appeared in the black iron lump, and then a small particle flew out of the flame and flew towards his arm at a very fast speed. The speed of this small particle was so fast that he could not react at all. At this moment, the small particle sank directly into his hand. A hole suddenly appeared on Uchiha Obito's arm, accompanied by a burst of severe pain. He realized that he was injured. He looked at the rich man in shock and anger. He really couldn't understand that this iron lump could really hurt him. When Uchiha Obito saw the rich man aiming the iron lump at his head, his pupils shrank sharply and he quickly turned on the virtualization. Bang, 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 bang. In an instant, several small particles flew out of the iron lump. Fortunately, Uchiha Obito turned on the virtualization in time, otherwise he would have been beaten into a sieve. Faced with such dense firepower, Uchiha Obito was almost scared to death and ran away. The riverside. Uchiha Obito gritted his teeth, reached his hand into his injured arm, and then dug out a conical iron block from the deep wound with force. The iron block emitted a cold light and was stained with some blood. Uchiha Obito frowned, took the iron block in his hand and looked at it carefully. What on earth is that iron lump? It's so powerful. Uchiha Obito was a little confused. He didn't understand how there could be such a powerful weapon in the world. If Yun Xiao was present, he would have found that the bullet in Obito's hand was a bullet head. Obviously, Obito didn't know about guns. He put the bullet head in his arms and decided to find someone to ask what it was when he had time. He walked to the river and began to wash the blood stains on his body. Just then, he suddenly saw a person floating on the river, drifting slowly towards him along the current. Obito was startled and looked at it quickly. He saw that the person was wearing the clothes of the Uchiha clan. Obito was stunned after seeing the person in the river. Why is there an Uchiha here? Originally, he didn't want to meddle in other people's business, but after all, the person was a member of the Uchiha clan and had a sense of kinship with him. After hesitating for a moment, Obito decided to go forward and check it out. He walked to the river and dragged the man's corpse to the shore. Looking at the Uchiha clan emblem behind the corpse, Obito murmured to himself, he is really a member of the Uchiha clan. How could he die in such a place? He frowned and tried to find some clues from this man. It looked like the other party was besieged before his death and was thrown into the river after his death. However, when he got closer to observe, he was surprised to find that the other party still had a weak breath. No, he doesn't seem to be dead. Obito widened his eyes, a little bit unbelieving his judgment. He approached again and carefully felt the other party's breath. Sure enough, although it was very weak, he was indeed still alive. This guy is really lucky. He can survive such a serious injury. You are so lucky to meet me. At night, beside the campfire, Uchiha Shisui opened his left eye and looked at the bandages on his body in the unfamiliar environment with a confused look on his face. He remembered that didn't he jump off the cliff and die? How come he's still alive? Just then, Uchiha Obito came over carrying a wild boar. You're really lucky. Hearing this, Uchiha Shisui looked at Uchiha Obito and asked, did you save me? Uchiha Obito nodded. I saw that you were one of my clansmen, so I saved you. Uchiha Shisui was stunned. Are you also a member of the Uchiha clan? Obito didn't say anything, but silently opened his Sharingan. Shisui saw Obito's Sharingan, and after a long silence, he said, Senior, is your left eye blind? Uchiha Obito. He looked at Shisui unhappily. Smelly boy, isn't your right eye gone too? After hearing what Obito said, Shisui realized that his right eye had been taken away by Shimura Danzo before. It seems that he has no right to laugh at the other party, because one has no left eye and the other has no right eye, they are the same. Uchiha Obito suddenly asked, where is your right eye? Shisui was silent for a while before saying, it was taken away. He looked at Obito and asked curiously, Senior, where is your left eye? Give it to a friend. Obito said, I will come to your house to get it back in person when the time comes. Shisui nodded seriously, Senior, I will also take my right eye back when the time comes. Obito suddenly laughed, you kid is very much my cup of tea, do you want to follow me? I will help you get your right eye back when the time comes. As he said, He was afraid that Shisui would not believe it, so he opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. See, this is the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan of Uchiha. Shisui was a little surprised after seeing Obito's Mangekyo. He didn't expect that this senior also opened the Mangekyo Sharingan. Obito thought Shisui was so shocked that he couldn't speak, and said proudly, "What do you think? Do you want to follow me? I'll protect you when the time comes." "Senior, I have a Mangekyo Sharingan too," Shisui said seriously. Hearing this, Obito was confused. What the hell? What did you just say? Before Obito finished speaking, he saw the 3 Magatama in Shisui's eyes spinning non-stop, and finally turned into a Mangekyo Sharingan. "Senior, I didn't lie to you," Shisui said with a smile. "Uchiha Obito. Haha, I didn't expect you to have a Mangekyo." Uchiha Obito asked, "By the way, I haven't asked you what your name is yet." "Senior, my name is Uchiha Shisui." Hearing Shisui's words, Obito's eyes flickered. "So you are Shisui of the instant body." Although he didn't know much about the development of Uchiha over the years, he still knew a thing or two about the geniuses emerging in Konoha village. After learning that the other party was Shisui of the instant body, Obito was more determined to get Shisui to join. He put his arm around Shisui's shoulders and said with a smile, "Shisui, do you want to join me? I'll give you 5 million taels a month." Uchiha Shisui was stunned when he heard this. As a ninja, the money on him was enough to buy shuriken, detonating tags and ninjutsu scrolls. He actually doesn't have much demand for money. He looked at Uchiha Obito and asked curiously, "Senior, you seem to be very obsessed with money." Obito was silent for a while before saying, "Because I made some mistakes before, but I need a lot of money to atone for my sins, so I have been making money all the time." Hearing this, Uchiha Shisui nodded thoughtfully, "So that's the case. So, are you willing to follow me? Don't worry, you will definitely get the benefits when the time comes." Uchiha Obito said. Now Shisui is very confused and doesn't know what to do. Because of what Shimura Danzo did, the will of fire that he has always been proud of in his heart began to collapse. He looked at Obito's expectant eyes and said with a smile, "Since the senior said so, I will stay and make money with you." Uchiha Obito was overjoyed to see Shisui agreed. He patted his chest and promised, "After your wounds heal, I will take you to get your eyes back." "By the way, who took your eyes away?" Uchiha Shisui sighed. "The 5th Hokage of Konoha village, Shimura Danzo." Shisui told Obito what happened. After hearing Shisui's promise to explain, Obito gritted his teeth and said, "Shimura Danzo deserves to die." He looked at Shisui and continued, "Don't worry, I'll help you get revenge when the time comes." Shisui looked at Obito with gratitude. "Thank you, senior." Obito waved his hand. "Since you are willing to be my little brother, I will take you to a place to see the world tomorrow." "Senior, where?" "Hee, a secret." "Okay." The next morning, the two set off towards the border of the Land of Fire. Outside Yunxiao's shop. "Another beautiful day. I hope there will be new orders today." Yunxiao stood at the door, stretching. Yesterday, a rich man suddenly came to Yunxiao's shop. He drove a carriage around the Land of Fire when he had nothing to do, and by chance he found Yunxiao's shop. The contents on the stone pillar at the door aroused his curiosity, so he walked into the store. After learning that Yunxiao had everything here, he immediately asked Yunxiao if he had any weapons for self-defense. After learning about the other party's needs, Yunxiao quickly recommended the hot weapons on the shelf to him. After seeing the power of the guns, the rich man bought hundreds of guns to supplement the guards without saying a word. But he didn't have that much money with him, so he bought a pistol and an assault rifle, and then left in a hurry. Before leaving, he told Yunxiao, "Boss, I'm going home to get the money now, and I'll be back early tomorrow morning. You must keep these guns for me." After that, he couldn't wait to get on the carriage and left the border. Yunxiao rubbed his hands excitedly. "I don't know when this boss will come today. Hundreds of guns, this is a big deal. You know, the price of an assault rifle is 7 million taels, and 100 or 700 million taels. If the rich man could really buy a few hundred, he would be completely rich. With the commission of this money, plus the money he earned before, he could buy enough goods to strengthen his strength. When he was strong, he could leave the store and go out to see the world." Thinking of this, Yunxiao was so excited. "I've been in this world for a few months, can I finally go out? Yun Xiao said excitedly. At this moment, several carriages were coming towards Yun Xiao's store in the distance. As the big boss finally here, Yun Xiao looked at the carriage in front expectantly. I saw a middle-aged man in gorgeous clothes getting off the carriage. After seeing Yun Xiao at the door, he hurriedly trotted to Yun Xiao. Boss, I brought the money. Yun Xiao excitedly shook the rich man's hand. No, you are the boss. Yun Xiao. The inexplicable words confused the rich man, but he didn't care. Boss Yun Xiao, are the weapons ready? The rich man asked. Of course, they have been prepared for you a long time ago. As long as the money is in place, you can have as many as you want. Yun Xiao said. The rich man nodded with satisfaction. Boss Yun Xiao, all my money adds up to 1.5 billion. How many weapons can I get from you? Yun Xiao almost fainted with excitement after hearing this number. He took out a calculator and calculated. Boss, 1.5 billion can be exchanged for 214 assault rifles from me. Yun Xiao said. 214, the rich man murmured. He didn't expect that all his property could only be exchanged for more than 200 guns. But when he thought of the power of the assault rifle, he was soon relieved. Yun Xiao felt a little guilty after seeing the rich man's look, because he also felt that the price of the assault rifle was a bit expensive. Moreover, the structure of this assault rifle is not that difficult. As long as you are willing to spend time to study it, I believe that it can be studied with the technological level of the ninja world. But Yun Xiao did not intend to persuade the other party. After all, he said he was a store manager, but he was just a worker in the system. He still needs to sell goods to get commissions, so as to improve his strength, and then leave the store. Boss Yun Xiao, then first give me 150 assault rifles, 20 Desert Eagles, 200 grenades, and the rest will all be replaced with bullets. The rich man said. Okay, I'll get it for you right away. Yun Xiao hurried into the store. Soon, the outside of Yun Xiao's store was filled with assault rifles and Desert Eagles, as well as dozens of boxes of grenades and hundreds of boxes of bullets. Boss, the weapons are all here, you order. Yun Xiao asked. Okay, I'll let my men help you move the money in. The rich man said, and signaled his men behind him to move the money into the store. Yun Xiao was so happy watching the boxes of banknotes being brought into the store that he couldn't stop smiling. With this money, he would be able to get out soon. Almost. Just a little bit, just a little bit. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.